How do? It's your Bolton boy, Jim Bailey here from This Is Wrestling, Bolton Town Wrestling, and Bolton FM and Wanderers TV. And you are watching the Reigning Rock Podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And that is right, people. As you grab a drink, like and subscribe, I am the X-Man himself. I am Ricky Goldman. This is DOMCAST, and it's interview time, kicking things off with an interview. So it's bringing the man himself, BTW ring announcer, commentator, Bolton radio host. He is the one, the only, Jim Bailey.
How are you doing? You all right?
And how are you tonight? Yeah.
I'm good.
How are you?
I've got a little bit of a cold, so if people know what I sound like and think I sound a bit weird, it's because I've got a bit of a stuffy nose, but it's all right. It's through the internet. You can't catch it.
Is it hay fever or just a cold?
No, just a bit of a cold. It's not COVID, though. I've done a COVID test because I'm going to a wedding at the weekend, and I didn't want to go to a wedding and infect everybody with an horrible disease. Yeah, it's not COVID. I've done a test. I'm all good.
I do suffer from hay fever, but take tablets for it. It's in this weather. Ugh, it's the worst. But
I've got friends that have hay fever, so yeah. Allergic to the planet you live on. What a rubbish ailment.
Yeah. Well, I'm allergic to plants mainly, but yeah. Really, so that and back after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I don't know how long it is, might be 2 weeks, back from a music festival that he'll tell about later on. Ian. So do you want to tell people, Jim, about yourself, how long you've been watching wrestling? Been 24 years, in December it'll be 25 years for me. So how long have you been watching wrestling? Your all-time favourite?
A lot now. Maths. You brought maths into it. It's a weird one for me. I got into wrestling probably a little bit older than most kids. I just didn't have access to it really. But I remember when I was very young, 5, 6, 7-year-old, I remember my friends having wrestling figures and seeing just little bits of it. And I didn't really understand what it was, but it fascinated me. The costumes, these big characters, the fact that it was like boxing and all, in a ring, and I was like, what is this? But my mum cannot stand it. My dad wasn't bothered. And we didn't have Sky, so I didn't have access to it. So it was what it was. And then as I got a little bit older, I ended up getting a couple of video games. We got WrestleMania on the Saturn. And slowly I started to get a little bit more into it as I got, a couple of mates gave me VHSs and stuff like that. And then WCW arrived on Channel 5 and WWE arrived on Channel 4 for a little bit. So then suddenly I could keep up with what was going on. And I was at an age where I could go to my mate's house and watch Raw on a Friday night and, crash over there or go home or whatever, because I was old enough to kind of go to my friend's house till later on. So yeah, I got into it I really got into it probably like 1998, 1999. Perfect time, really, like the peak of the Attitude Era. I was in year 7 and 8 kind of thing. And it was violent, it was silly, it was full of good-looking women in not many clothes. It was perfect for a guy that was in year 7 or 8 to get into. And as I got more into it, I figured out that what really fascinated me as I got a little bit older was the backstage element of it, and I got that it wasn't, I got that it wasn't a shoot. I got that it wasn't a proper fight. I knew that before I got into it, which most kids will have that point of like they find out that wrestling isn't real, and they will either not care and continue to love it, or they'll be like, well, what's the point then? Because I already knew when I got into it, I kind of went into it appreciating it for what it was straight away. So, yeah, I was lucky in that regard, I think, because it never left me. Favourites of all time, I think my first favourite was Mick Foley. I've never been one that gravitates towards the biggest, most popular ones, except for Stone Cold, because you couldn't not be, because he was just so damn cool. But other than that, I was kind of like the heels a little bit. I did like Triple H when he was a heel. But I really like Mick Foley, and I really like Kane, and I really liked X-Pac. And X-Pac and Kane as a tag team I thought was great. And then as I've gone, I was a big fan of Jericho. I've been later on Daniel Bryan, obviously Bryan Danielson, and previously Bryan Danielson. But when I got into him, it was WWE. So Daniel Bryan and CM Punk and all those kind of guys. And yeah, it's fun, and I've kind of fallen off the product a little bit lately, but it's not because it's not good. It's not because it's not enjoyable, because when I do catch it, it's still fun. I still enjoy it. I just struggle to find the time sometimes to actually catch up on what's going on. But yeah.
Yeah, because there is, if you watch, so if you say, go, well, you watch all on daily, NXT Tuesday, Speed on. If you watch everything, Speed on Wednesday, main event. It's on every day basically. If you watch everything,
absolutely.
Not
and then
if it's on daily.
And New Japan, and then other indies, and then go into local shows. I mean, there's not enough. You couldn't have a job or eat or sleep. You just.
I know it's like you have to have a.
Oh God, his awful internet.
You have to balance it.
I'm watching it on Channel 4.
Yeah, you have to balance it. You're right. You have to balance it out. And you've got to just watch what you can and want to watch. And sometimes you just got to accept that you're going to have a little bit of a run where you're just too busy to watch the bloody thing.
And you also want to be able to go out as well.
Well, yeah. Absolutely.
You need a bit of air as well. It's
a wrestling. So wrestling, other than that, no. My life is just wrestling.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I just watched WWE.
Dedicate their lives to all kinds of wrestling besides WWE.
Thankfully, my life, I just watched WWE, and I watched AEW pay-per-views, but that's it. So I've got plenty more time than other people. Channel 4, I remember watching it on Channel 4, the old pay-per-views. That's how I used to watch. I remember watching Armageddon, the 6-person Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, they had Royal Rumble.
And going back to
Armageddon, and they had another one as well, Backlash. That was great. It was great. I used to try and stay up and watch them. It's crazy.
Oh, no, I love it.
And going back to it not being real. To it not being real, when I found out it wasn't real, I wasn't bothered. I know it's not real, but it was like I was surprised. I think when they write out that the secrets behind wrestling, and that really spoilt it. But
I think again.
I get it. It's a show.
Daniels did the voice for that. Christopher Daniels did the voice for that.
Did he? Christopher Daniels, fair enough. I remember that though. I remember watching that. I loved it. I thought it was so much fun. In fact, I went back and watched it a few years ago, just on YouTube, just for a laugh. And knowing what I know now, it's so silly and it's so basic, but it's just still good fun, man. I love that kind of stuff.
But it's kind of that the other one, the master magician. I think that was kind of based off that they just did the wrestling one stuff that.
Yeah,
it's
with all
like
their age.
you don't want to know how the tricks are. You don't want to know how magic tricks are done. It's mentioned of disbelief. It's either an illusion. You don't want to know how these magic tricks
Yeah, I get that. I get
Well, I
that.
remember those
you don't
shows. I used to be on Sky One. I remember them. Yeah.
it's not as impressive.
But at the same time, you don't have to watch.
Yeah. And it's like
You don't have to watch. There's so much TV out there. You don't.
True.
If you don't like it, when
True.
people complain
True.
about wrestling, I'm like, well, do you watch it? No. Well, why are you wasting your breath on it then? You don't have to watch what's on the telly if you don't like it. There's 50 million different channels, plus YouTube, and whatever.
I noticed. Yeah, I noticed you said something about, was it Joe Hendry? I think you commented on someone's status or something. Was it you that commented?
Yeah, but again, I love that kind of stuff. I love how he's got himself over. I love how the fact that he got to a point where by doing this gimmick, this wrestling thing, which I'm sure a lot of people will just think, well, that's very silly. He got himself into the actual UK charts.
That is incredible, isn't it? No, I think the comment you made was somebody was complaining about the treatment of Joe Hendry in WWE NXT, and I think your comment was, "Let it play out. It's been 1 week."
Yeah.
And I just thought, yeah, I agree.
And the thing is, he got eliminated from someone that he's feuding with in TNA, and they've got all he needed to get over was the entrance, and only like a couple of people in that battle royal got their own entrance. And he got a promo, which nobody else got.
Good, isn't it?
He didn't need to do well in the match because he got the moment to shine with his entrance, the reaction, and the little promo. And then he got a little bit of HBK as well. I mean, what more?
And for those that did, I was just going to say, for those that did watch the thing afterwards, he said, "You say the name, and I turn up on any show." So I thought, that's fantastic. You could turn up on Raw.
Exactly. And HBK was like, I
he's
believe.
He's like the Beetlejuice with wrestling.
Yeah. And it works.
He's
it's over. There's no way WWE would not be interested. Seeing that reaction in NXT, there is no way that WWE aren't thinking, right, when can we get this guy? Because he's got a look, he's got charisma, he's got ability in the ring, he can promo, he can sing. Like, why would they not want him?
He's the definition of a sports entertainer in a pro wrestling era.
Yeah, and he can.
WWE's been able to start going back
really, and he's so he can get himself over.
And that's what you want to be able to do in this current era in WWE.
True, yeah. I remember watching wrestling.
Just something special, yeah, absolutely. It is.
I remember finding out wrestling was scripted, and yeah. But I think the internet killed kayfabe, and it just does kill kayfabe. It's like, very quickly. For example, the White at 6 debuting on Raw, and then going to a restaurant and taking a picture of the fan. It's like, you killed your character like that.
But again,
at the end of the day,
sorry, what was that?
No, they kill the character. Don't try and defend it, Ian. They could have said to that fan, "No, we're not going to take a picture, but we'll autograph whatever." That fan would have been happy. They're going away with autographs, and they just haven't taken a picture, protecting their gimmick. It just kills it.
But at the end of the day, people found out through the internet who they really. People found out through the internet who they.
Yeah, and the thing is,
Jesus
as well,
Christ.
like, if I'm watching, if I'm in the cinema and I'm watching Harry Potter, right, and then I went outside and was just having some food. I went to a takeaway or a restaurant, whatever. I was having some food, and lo and behold, Daniel Radcliffe walks in. I won't be like, Where's your wand? Where's your gown? And I think we're at a time now in wrestling where
you just want his autograph, yeah. Like, holy shit, it's Daniel Radcliffe.
I think that they're viewed as like actors are viewed. I think that they're viewed that way, and I think that's just society. I think that's just the modern world. And would it be ace if the old school way of thinking still kept it all behind the veil and was more kayfabe and they were like that? Yes, But I don't think it would work in today's era because fans want those pictures. They want those social media moments. They don't care about kayfabe, modern fans. And if they don't, if that's the trend of the
and
fans,
that's what's killed the business.
Not wrong.
That's what,
you've got to adapt.
And it's the fact. It's the fans that have killed the business. If I'm bored Dallas, if I'm whoever I say,
it would have killed.
It
used to be killing the business, and I get it. I do, and I like listening to a little bit of Jim Cornette. Sometimes I think he makes perfect sense, but he always goes on about killing the business, and I'm like, I know where you're coming from. But we're at the point in time now where everybody knows, and yes, you don't want it rubbed in your face. And I'm more old school. I prefer it to be a little bit more old school. But I also understand that in the modern world of entertainment, which is where these companies are trying to make money, and if they're not making money, they can't make wrestling shows. You have to give the fan the experience they want. And if you're not giving them the experience they want, then they're not going to pay money to do it. And because wrestling is thriving, I think that is actually just the way that the 21st century works in the social media age. Fans want selfies. Fans want to put their picture on social media saying, look at me with these guys. It is what it is. Everybody knows that Bo Dallas...
Yeah, and then they won't also...
we knew it was Bo Dallas before the story, before... Right back at the beginning when they brought him in when Bray was still about.
I agree with that. If I'm Bo Dallas and I've just killed somebody on Raw and some fans asking for a selfie, if I'm Bo Dallas, say no, you don't get a picture. We'll all sign whatever, no picture, because it's just that kills my character. I don't want my character killed. Thank you. So if you can't respect me, they're losing one fan. So
I'm sure the fan would have accepted it as well, but. Clearly, Bo Dallas doesn't really give a toss and doesn't think it's going to affect it because everybody knows what the crack is, I suppose. And again, it's just he has to fit into that social media age because he has to be accessible to his fans. Otherwise, people are going to start thinking, well, that Bo Dallas is a bit of a dick. And that isn't necessarily what you want. It's a difficult one.
No,
and I get it because I
suppose
they're in a
tough spot. They're in a tough spot. They want to give the fans what they want, but protect the character. So it is hard. I get it, but if I'm a wrestler, no selfies.
I think in the modern age, wrestling just
they want to protect their reputation.
Yeah, you do. Because and I think
have
in the modern
age,
that's back to normal entertainment property.
Because now you have the ability on your phone to record a wrestler if he's being a dick, or you can post that on YouTube, and then he gets hitting the reputation and hitting the pockets.
Then maybe that negatively affects it because people then start thinking, actually, he's a bit of a dick. Maybe I don't care about this character. So it's a very tough line to walk, to be honest with you.
We're getting away from...
yeah, so I'll do that. I'll waffle on.
Away from WWE and back to you, Jim. So how did you get into being on shows, commentary, ring announcing? How did you get into that? Was it just luck?
Yes. I started off. My first foray into the wrestling business was I Googled wrestling schools nearby, and it was like 2012-ish, something like that. And I found this little school in Manchester called, at the time, Garage Pro Wrestling. And I sent an email to this guy that wasn't a guy, it was like a fake name. But who I was actually speaking to was Johnny Brannigan. And I enrolled in the next intake, and I went and did probably about 8-9 months training at GPW. The main trainers there at the time were Johnny Brannigan, DDL. We got a little bit of Jack Gallagher every now and again. And the class was great. Like the people in the class was great. There was loads of good people in there. LA Austin was in that class. I kind of joined in with them because after the first week, I was the only person of the new intake left. or after like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe I'm exaggerating slightly, but everyone dropped off other than me. So I ended up just being absorbed into the people that were already there. I was playing catch up, but LA Austin, Bin Man was in that crew. Logan, who's doesn't really wrestle anymore, but he's got a kid with one of my friend's sisters, which is a strange random connection
Logan
in life.
Smith.
But I still see him every now and again, which is great.
Is it Logan?
Jason Logan.
Is it Logan Smith or no?
No, he was just.
I know Logan Smith. He's wrestled in the next show I'm going to.
No, he had a run in GPW for a little bit, around near the Northwest Rookies tournament kind of era. But he work commitments and other stuff, and he just ended up drifting out of it. But he was a good lad. Mickey Barnes was about, so it was a really good kind of set of people to be about. And then I did my knee playing 5-a-side, so I came away from it. And then I went to a few shows, and I got chatting to LA Austin again, and I got talking to his sister, Lana, and after a few beers and a little bit of encouragement, I'd agreed to rejoin the school, and I did like another 8 or 9 months before, once again, I ruined my knee playing 5-a-side. And then I went to uni and I drifted out of it. But that second, again, there were some great people in that second class. Two Shades was in it, and there was, Lana, for one, was in it as well. Gallagher had become very much more the trainer then. He was like very much running a lot of the sessions, so they were very, very difficult to get through. The physical side of it was just outrageous, but my God, the stuff I could do back then, fitness-wise, I probably couldn't ever do again in my life. But then I dropped out of it, I went to uni, blah, blah, blah. And then I started doing the radio stuff. I did a bit of telly at uni.
What did you study at uni?
I did entertainment management. It was called music theatre and entertainment management. So it was like the management side of, film, TV, video, theatre, music, acting. It was a magical place. I went to Lipper in Liverpool. I always said it was kind of its own little Hogwarts because it was just had its own little feel to it. You were very much in the Lipper bubble, they called it. I drifted into the actors. I ended up living with actors for 2 years. I'm still friends with them to this day. I'm going to weekend. I'm going to York for a wedding with people. There's 2 people that I met at uni that are getting married, and loads of the old uni crew is going to be there. So that's going to be mint. There's a lad who's going to be at the wedding, who is a wrestler. He wrestles in Ireland. He's the showman. Chris Mohan. I think he used his real name. He was just Mohan originally, which was his real surname, but he wrestled as part of the Hallions for a little while as a tag team. And I'd done training and he never had, and he always said, "Oh, I fancy a bit of that." And I was like, "Mate, you would love it." He was a big wrestling fan. I was like, "Mate, you would absolutely love it. You should definitely do that when you finish uni." But because he's an actor as well, it all gels in together. He's done some great stuff acting-wise. He's done some great stuff on stage. He's been on TV a couple of times. He's just showbiz, you know what I mean? But I've not ever seen him wrestle live because he wrestles in Ireland. So hopefully I'll be able to blag somebody to book him over here, Matt or Drill or something like that. But towards the end of uni, I started doing a bit of TV through the uni. There was like the added music TV show, and that led me to the radio, and the radio led me to interviewing Drill, who was in the training class right at the beginning. And after the interview, he was like, "Do you fancy doing my ring announcing? I think you'd be good at it. And, you do all the radio stuff. And, I know you. You're a good lad. We used to train together." And I was like, "Yeah." And it just ran from there. And then BTW came along a couple of years later. Drill moved me on to commentary as well as doing ring announcing. I did one GPW show as a stand-in for The Real Deal Neil Steele, which was great fun. It was kind of like I had that one moment where I'd come full circle after being in the GPW training school. I finally stepped into a GPW ring as part of a show. Granted, I was just shouting names, and I forgot Craig Collins' name for about, what felt like an hour, but was probably about 10 seconds. But I just hadn't. It was the one name I hadn't written down on my sheet. So they came out in quite a tag team battle royal, and I just announced T-Bone and his tag team partner Collins.
It happened. That happened. That happens.
I always have everything written down, man. Little notes that fit in the
Steel Grey. Neil Steele's great, but I don't know if you were at the last show that he got the ring announcer, was it for the Future Shock tag team titles? I think it was. Yeah, did he mean the Future titles? I don't know if you were at
that's it.
that show.
A couple of shows ago.
People get names wrong.
Yeah, exactly. A couple of shows ago, This Is Wrestling, I botched my own name. And it's not even like I use a stage name. That's Jim Bailey is just my name. Somebody botched my own name.
My name is.
What they call you?
I've twice called Ethan Kelly.
Ethan Allen. 1 second.
Oh. They bought your stage name because how they bought your stage name?
I don't have a stage name. I mean, my real name, actually, technically, I was christened James Bailey, but I've always kind of been known as Jim or Jimmy. So when I went on TV, I was always Jimmy to my friends, but when I went on the telly and they wanted to put my little name in a box, they said, well, what we calling you? And I just said, just put Jim Bailey. And I've just stuck with it ever since, like, as the name for like when I'm on the radio or when I'm doing the wrestling. But because I use it for doing that, now everyone just calls me Jim Bailey in real life as well. So it's just my name. And it is just my name, you know.
A fun fact.
Do you prefer ring announcing, commentating, or being a radio host?
Fun
use it for
fact
everything.
For you. Ian, save your question. So interesting, a real interesting fact. My real middle name is James. So Ricky Gullman's not my real name. Ricky is, but Gullman isn't. Well, I'm breaking my own character here.
Well, my middle name.
But my real middle name.
Well, my middle name, my real middle. Well, I don't have a fake middle name. I just have a middle name that I don't really use because you know it's just a middle name, innit? It's just there. But yeah, my middle name is Richard. So I'm James Richard Bailey, but yeah, James Richard Bailey, but I'm Jim Bailey. You know, it's just. But
so my follow-up questions. So kind of three questions here. Did you? You can answer these as quick as you want in the order you want. Did you? Have you got a degree in? I should say, what company does Drill run? And not a question, but I done a bit of training and didn't like it. It hurts. I wanted to be a star like that.
Yeah, no, it hurts.
So I just prefer just watching. I prefer just watching.
No, I get that. It hurts. A funny story, the first time I ever went to training, now Johnny Brannigan has got apparently had.
That was my other question. That was my other question.
Well, I heard whispers that Johnny Brannigan was like a really.
Did he run 1PW? I think I'm.
Well, yeah, I've heard rumours that Johnny Brannigan was like a really harsh.
I recognise that name. He run 1P. Yeah.
No, he's the GPW general manager. He wrestled as Heresy, and he did when GPW kind of merged with WrestlePro, and they had a training school together. And I heard rumours that people complained, saying he was too old school, too harsh. And look, there were tough sessions. Like, there were tough sessions. The first session I ever did, I had to do 163 squats. And I hadn't done a squat in years. And when I got home, I couldn't walk up the stairs. I had to drag myself on my hands and knees up the stairs because I hadn't done a squat in that long. My legs had given up. But I loved it. I loved every session I did there. And I enjoyed the sessions so much. And yes, they were physically demanding. But pro wrestling is physically demanding. And I never complained once about the style of which I was being trained. I just took it as it was. Give the guy that's running the show some respect, and he'll give you respect back. And I never questioned it, and I loved it. I absolutely adored training. you know, I never left because I didn't like it. I never left because it hurt too much. It never hurt because I got injured wrestling, really. I got injured playing five-a-side football with my friends, both times. And that's what scuppered me. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't great. I had the personality. And Johnny would always say that. He said, you've got personality, you've got like something about you. And I could bump. You know, I don't know if you've seen me bump on show. You know, were you there at the Rumble? At the BTW Rumble show?
No, I missed that one, unfortunately.
Well, you can see it on my TikTok. I did a cameo. And I, you know, as a show, I can take a bump. You know, I took a very nice bump off Drill in that show and then didn't give him a stunner and chucked him out, which was great fun. But so I could bump. It was just giving moves to other people. I always felt a little bit awkward. I wasn't the best at doing moves to other people. I suppose if I'd have made it to shows, I'd have been a natural kind of adorable jobber because I wasn't good at beating other people up, but I could bump and I had a kind of babyface quality about me, according to Johnny. He said, I could never make you a heel, but I could never make you a heel, Carbs. You're just too adorable. You're a babyface. I was like, all right, yeah, fair enough, whatever. So I just went along with it, but I loved it. I absolutely adored being training at GPW, and I wouldn't change for the world. I met some amazing people, you know, people I'm still friends with today, and including Drill, who, you know, I'm good friends with Drill. He's a great guy. He's a fantastic wrestler. He's character work, the way he works the crowd.
What's the company that Drill runs?
He runs This Is Wrestling, runs out of Ormskirk. Ormskirk Civic Hall. I should have the dates for the shows, actually, you know, at my disposal rather than faffing about not telling you when they are. But they are, if anyone in the chat wants to just have a quick look to see when they are, they can put them up, and then I can look like I know what I'm talking about. But the great shows, they're a Sunday afternoon. The talent on them is fantastic. Drill's a great little promoter. He's doing some good shows, and yeah, if you're nearby, kind of Liverpool way, anywhere over that way, well worth getting to. I know that Ormskirk via public transport on a Sunday is a bit of a blag, but they're great shows, and they have, you know, some top talent on there. You get, you know, Joey Hayes, DDL, Stocks is on there. You've got some of the more Liverpool way guys as well. Critch is on there. Harley's been on shows. You know, there's some really, really good. Isaac North's there. Isaac North's the current champion. 2 bits shows. They, honestly, they're cracking shows, and they deserve more of a crowd, actually, because I think they're not the biggest crowds, because Ormskirk on a Sunday is a bit of a blag. But if you can get there, you will not be disappointed. Great shows. They're affordable. You've got some cheap scran on. Decent little bar. The venue's mint. Like, it's a really nice venue to be in, and you get to see me do ring announcing. So what's the not to want to get involved with? But Stocks and Sandy Beach are a tag team there. They're great fun. And I can't remember what the first question was.
So on the talent there. I'll get back to the first question. But Stocks, I think, is a great talent.
Yeah, fantastic. Look,
I'll get to but Stocks, great talent. Isaac North is a heel. 2 bits good. Joey Hayes is good, and he's been gone for years. He's just never.
Can't go wrong with Joey Hayes.
I thought he would have been signed to NXT UK, but
he should have been. I never understood why he wasn't. There's people that got signed that, for me, weren't in the same league as Joey Hayes, and that's not a knock on anybody. That's just how highly I rate Joey Hayes.
I didn't even get to shows. I just did, but I think I did about 2 months of just basic training, and I every week came home in pain. I just thought, no, this is not for me. So I just prefer to go and watch. A lot safer. I'm not in pain doing that. I'm not. I mean, I'm in enough pain going to the gym. So
I'll tell you what, Rick. The fact is, right, there are a lot of people that love wrestling. There's a lot of people that think I could do that. And they never ever step forward in the ring. They just say, you know what, I could do that, whatever, I could do that. Respect to you for actually getting off your backside and thinking, you know what, I'm going to give it a bash. And you know what, you found out, you know what, I prefer watching this than doing it. But I tell you what, I bet you came away from there with an added respect to what wrestlers put themselves through to do it than you did before. And even though you loved it anyway, it just gives you that little bit of an insight into that side of it. And I did it took like 2, 8, 9 months.
Yeah.
Loved it. Was in pain all the time.
At the start,
because of my own clumsy self, or because someone just caught me wrong or whatever. Well, it was great. Sam Bradwell was a big part actually of the GPW training school as well, and he was fantastic. I loved being coached by Gradwell. He was on GPW shows at the time, and he wasn't officially like a trainer, but he was such a senior. I don't know if he was still seen as being a trainee or whether he was just doing it while he was he was in a transition between whatever, I think, but he was there and he helped out with a lot of the sessions, and he always had a lot of time for me because I assume he just saw that I was just willing and was just trying to be better and trying to improve, and I was respectful because I just knew that's what you had to be. And LA Austin on my first session, Gail just basically said, like, look, just do what you're told, don't be a dick, respect people, you'll be fine. And it was true, every word of it. And I had great fun. Sam Gradwell taught me how to do a drop kick because Brannigan told me there was no way I was doing a drop kick. And so Gradwell took me to one side and was like, let's try this drop kick. And I was like, yeah, but he's told me not to. He was like, don't worry, I've got you back on this one. Let's try the drop kick. And in the end, Johnny saw me doing the drop kick to Sam, came over and was like, what did I say about the drop kick? And Sam, true to his word, was just like, I told him, I said, like, I wanted to see if we could get him anywhere near. And he went, all right, interesting. And he stopped everybody and he made everybody come up there in the ring. And I drop kicked people until I didn't have elbow pads at the time because it was only early on in mid training. I'd ordered some, but they hadn't arrived. I drop kicked people until I had blood running down my forearms because my elbows had skinned on the canvas. And I didn't even notice. It was only when I was back in the queue to do something else for somebody else that I think it was Ali Austin turned around and said, bleeding there, mate. And I looked and both my elbows were just dribbling blood down my arms. And I was like, I don't care. I can do a drop kick now. And that was part of my plan shine for when I started matches. When the babyface got the upper hand, my upper hand was going to end with a drop kick. It wasn't the greatest drop kick in the world. It was only kind of one-footed, but it worked and I could do it as long as you weren't too tall. If you were too tall, then I was drop kicking you in the lower chest and it didn't look very good. But it was great fun. And anybody that ever thinks I'd love to give it a go, I would recommend doing it. But find a school that has got some good reviews and isn't just a sham, because apparently there's a lot of them about now. But I found a good school that I felt was a nice place to do it. Some people had some problems there, but I think it was just personality clashes, to be honest with you, because I never had a problem with anybody. Everybody was always really nice to me, and I got on with them, and it was great fun. Oh yeah,
apparently reclining to drinks for him anyway.
Your first question was, did I have a degree?
Respect part, I certainly, yeah.
Entertainment management, yeah, I do. It's
yes. So do you have any part to that? Yes.
Paul McCartney of the Beatles shook me hand. Never talk about it, but which is an joke with me and some of my friends because I always pap on about it. But yeah, so that was fun.
Wow.
Great.
That's a big achievement, having a legend like Paul McCartney shake your hands.
Yeah, it was.
What was it like meeting him?
Well, it was quick because it was just kind of, you went up and you shook his hand and he said a few words and you buggered off. But I was kind of like, oh my God, it's Paul McCartney. So I went and I got my little pin badge off him and I shook his hand, and I just kind of, I had my photo with him, and then I just kind of started wandering off, and he actually called me back and was like, "Oh, I have a few words, like, I was like, oh yeah, sorry, Paul, fucking sorry, Paul." But then he was just
like, "Is he a wrestling fan?
Enjoyed your time here," and he was like, "Yeah, no, it's been brilliant. I've loved it. It's been great. Like, pleasure to meet you. Like, an honour. It's night of the realm, Sir Paul, isn't it?" But yeah, that was pretty surreal. I was very hungover from a party the night before, but still, it was great, and I loved every minute of it. And I met some wonderful people at uni. Like I said,
is he a wrestling fan, Paul McCartney?
I have no idea.
And I don't know if you can't.
Basically, he rocked up like twice a year. He'd do the graduation, and then he'd work with the third year music songwriting. But other than that, But bigger things to be doing. Support, you know. Probably having Queen with a team with the Queen or something.
Paul McCartney to his tribal chief.
I'm sure he's some people.
A few more questions.
Yeah.
a few more questions. Any of these actors that you know, or any of them famous actors?
I've like there's a lad on Emmerdale now. That I can't remember what his acting name is because he changed his name when he went into acting. But he's on Emmerdale now as like a regular. We weren't like super close friends, but he was, you know, decent guy. Got on with him. You know, if I bumped into him, it wasn't like, who's this guy? He'd be like, you know, oh, you're right. Once bumped into him at Chester Zoo, was proper randomly. A couple of my mates have been in like little bit parts here and there. My mate Connor, who's always comes up and crashes at my house all the time. He's a top lad. He's 6'6". You know, you've met him actually. He was at that BTW show. 6'6", monster of a man, great guy.
Oh yeah,
he was in.
Was he sat? Oh yeah, him.
Yeah. He just on spur moment he said, you know what, I'm going to.
He didn't seem to know much.
But he had like a small role.
He didn't seem to know much about the current product.
No, he's not a massive wrestling fan. He just thought it'd be a good laugh. He just thought it'd be a good little night out. Come and see me, whatever. He had a good time. He enjoyed it. He enjoyed talking to the wrestlers. But he had a small part on that Full Monty series they did not long ago. He was on that. A couple of people have gone on to do some good stuff in music that weren't like super great mates, but people I knew. There's a guy called Jalen Ngonda who is touring. He's like does like kind of soul music. He's fantastic. You know, if you're into them kind of vibes, check him out. Jalen Ngonda on Spotify and all that. He's just on a tour of the UK. He seems to be going places. He's doing really well, and he is just a super sweet dude. And he always, the first time I met him, he was bumming a cigarette off me. And then that was always kind of like our little thing. Like he'd always come up and like, oh, Jimmy, can I bum a cigarette off you? And I'm like, yeah, no worries, man. You're fine. Lovely dude. He's American. But yeah, he's great.
I liked that American accent there. That was good.
Well,
what TV did you get involved?
But I lived with an American.
Was it a bit of TV or was it anything big?
What's that? Sorry.
What TV did you get into? Was it just a little bit of like local TV, or was it anything big?
What is now Talk Liverpool? For people that live in that area that can receive it, which for some reason I am, even though really I'm close to Manchester. But the way that the signal works around here is I get Liverpool TV. But it used to be called, was it Bay TV? I think it used to be called Bay TV. But Lipper had a music show on Bay TV that was also on randomly broadcast on a small TV station in Brighton or Bristol, and also randomly in Belfast. No idea why, but it was just in these three very small locations: Liverpool, Brighton, Belfast. You could get this TV channel, and they did a music show with that had like the acts from Lipper on it and a few guests. Do you remember the band Space, who did The Female and Species?
I remember that one. Yeah,
I
remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
That was on one of the episodes. He was a really cool dude, really nice to chat to, proper down to earth. But yeah, it was just so they needed presenters, and I got roped into presenting the karaoke night, and the head of music saw it, and he was like, "Your singing's rubbish." And I was like, "Well, I know I'm on management course, mate. I just got roped into this." He said, "But your presenting's quite good. Would you like to do the Tube next year?" And I was like, "Yeah, sweet, sounds like fun." And when I first got there, I saw people doing the Tube, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool to do that. I reckon that'd be a laugh. I'll find out how you could get into that. And then I just got asked to do it because I was happy enough to make a prat of myself on stage. And he felt that a lot of the actors acting at being presenters, whereas I just got up there and did me. And he liked that, so he put me on telly, and I did my work experience at uni at a management company that were looking after like celebrities and stuff. And one of the guys there, feeling it was Bold Management in Liverpool, brilliant. Martin O'Shea is the main guy. They used to manage Atomic Kitten. So he's very plugged into the industry, knows what he's doing. Again, just a really great bloke. Had us around for Sunday tea once. We watched Back to the Future 3, brilliant. I think it's his nephew that works there, Phelan, who now is actually like killing it in the world of celebrity agencies. Absolutely owning it. But he said to me, look, if you want to get into more presenting, community radio is a good place to start. He says, I'm sure there's one in Bolton. And I asked a couple of questions, and I found out that my mate's dad, my friend Lucy, who then later got into wrestling and became a ring announcer herself and a social media kind of ambassador for wrestling, and is now engaged to Scotty Rock, who's taking the place by storm. So her dad was on Bolton FM, and I was in the with her.
Very good wrestler, yeah, very good.
Yeah. So I got onto Bolton FM, and it just went from there really. And I just loved the community aspects of it. And I don't really try. I know, people say, why don't you try and become like a professional radio host? And it's just like, I don't think I can really be asked with being properly famous. And I'd have to probably move to London. So on it. Maybe Manchester, maybe get away with it. Maybe it's something I should do, or maybe put a bit more effort into. But I just love the community aspects of Bolton FM, and I love the fact that we're serving. And I love doing the Wanderers games, and that's it's my buddy, it's my team, innit? So to do the presenting for that's been a dream come true.
We'll discuss football, but a couple of things. Scotty Rock, fantastic wrestler. I've seen him at Tidal, a little bit at TNT, fantastic. The Liverpool shows I do go to are TNT and Wrestle Island. So I might check out This Is Wrestling, but I've heard of it. But like you said, honestly,
they are good. They're good family shows.
Going back to you and going. So, do you prefer commentary or? And this is a two-part question. So, do you prefer commentary or ring announcing? And do you get shy doing ring announcing? I certainly would.
No, I don't get shy. I'm used to it now. I've done. The first time I went on TV, I was like that, mate. I was absolutely pooing myself. The first time I started going on radio, it was the same. I was nerve-wracked. But you get used to it, and now I find that, like on the radio, for example, when that red light comes on, it's kind of a safe space for me. I feel completely at ease with the world when that red light's on and I'm live. And it's the same with the wrestling. Beforehand, I might be a little bit like, a little bit, maybe slightly anxious, but it's excitement. It's like a bubbling kind of. Ooh. But once I'm doing it, and I'm doing it, and there's no point being shy, because if I'm shy, I'm not going to be as good. So I've got to just go for it. As for do I prefer commentary to ring announcing or vice versa, it depends on what I'm feeling that particular day. I enjoy both. I think they've both got aspects that are good, and they've got aspects that aren't as good. With commentary, when I just do commentary at BTW, I miss being in front of the crowd a little bit more. I get that entrance at the start, but other than that, I'm just sat in the corner. For the live aspects of it, I'm not doing anything unless I get roped into doing an announcement like I did at the last show or something like that. I don't get to do anything in front of the crowd, and I do like doing stuff with the crowd. But I do enjoy the commentary, and just there's been times where I thought I could sack the ring announcing off and just focus on the commentary. And there's been times when I'm like, I can't really bother with the commentary. It's a lot of talking that, which shockingly I do quite like. I'll just do the ring announcing. But really, I enjoy them both. I just prefer different things on different days. Depends on how I'm feeling. And also with commentary, actually,
I like
depends.
in the sense of retention, but I think if it came to commentary, ring announcing, everybody's looking at me and like, if I got it wrong, people are going to laugh like, oh.
Yeah, I don't care.
So like, if I got it wrong, So if you,
The secret to getting it wrong.
do you prefer doing commentary solo or somebody?
I prefer doing it with somebody. I've been blessed that I've never really had a commentary gig where I've been like, well, I'm not doing it with them again. That was bad. I've had better chemistry with some than others. I think the best chemistry that I've had was actually with Drill at BTW. It was almost too good because I started getting a bit silly towards the end of our run doing commentary together before we went back doing more in the ring. Because I'd had a couple, I'd probably had one too many at the lads and girls club show, and me and Drill just started getting a little bit silly on commentary, and it was probably not my best commentary performance because I was being a little bit too silly with it, I suppose, which as a baby face I probably shouldn't have been, but whatever. There's nothing I can do about it now. He's gone.
I'm just going to quickly bring my third co-host. My second co-host, the man himself. He is the man that's going to challenge Ian on Monday for the quiz championship. He is TJ.
How's it going, TJ?
There he is.
Hi, how you doing?
And how are you?
Greetings from the
How you
States.
keeping?
Nice.
How you keeping? Greetings from Ireland.
Aaron Gobra.
Good man. You're the second person this week I've heard from a different country who's Irish.
America. And TJ, bear with Ian's horrendous internet. I think he's still using broadband. But now that TJ's here, I'll kind of finish this up. So,
if he's using broadband,
Jim,
why don't we all just wear
let's get to your
and move to Seattle?
So let's get to your radio. So Bolton FM.
Give me a plane ticket and I will. I've always wanted to visit
Bolton
Seattle.
FM. I did save the link.
Yeah, boltonfm.com. Yeah, it's.
So I did. Oh God!
Like, I'm not doing anything at the moment because it's the end, because the football season isn't on, and so I've taken the opportunity to have a summer break. I did do my Tuesday show all the way through, but we'll look at that. My main focus has been the Saturday football for quite a while now. I'm the head of sport there as well, so I've kind of overseen. Probably not the greatest head of sport in the world, but I do enough. But that I might have to step that up a little bit now. But it's been a great place to have some fun and develop, and it's led to good things in my life. You know, it's been a big factor in the last two jobs I got because, you know, or a big chunk because of Bolton FM, and especially my current job at T4 Physio, because that's how I met my boss, who then later on offered me a job. And I met him because I had him as a guest on my show, and he knew I could do the radio stuff, and he knew that's what he wanted, and he got to know me, and he decided he wanted him on my team, and none of that happens without Bolton FM. And I don't know if you've seen on my Facebook and all that, you know, we lost our the station manager basically last week to a stroke, and it's been mad because now this is I kind of liaised with him on the football, and he was the one that spoke to the club, and we planned it together, and it's mad that we're not going to have that meeting now. He was, you know, for the 8 years I've been at Bolton FM, he was like he was the boss, but he was a mentor. He was a champion of everything we did. He worked so hard for us. He gave us great opportunities. You know, there's no way I probably wouldn't have ever presented a Bolton FM. I mean, a Bolton Wanderers football game, let alone have gone and done it twice from Wembley Stadium, if not for Keith. And to have lost Keith was just...
Did you?
Just such a last goal. But obviously I don't want to bring everything down. I just thought it was worth mentioning because he's been a massive part of the whole FM journey, you know. It's big time, and that's where it's led to, you know.
You presented a radio show from Wembley Stadium. Wow.
Twice. A Papa John's Trophy final last year.
Wow.
And the playoff final this year. The Papa John's was more fun in terms of winning the game. The playoffs was probably a better radio broadcast because we'd done it once before, and we knew what the technical the technical challenges were going to be. We did that better. So the broadcast was better. The game wasn't as good because we were crap and we lost. But my bit was better, so you know.
My football in the World Cup, maybe, possibly. I did. Was it Slovenia? I can't even remember. Last night, that was all. Ugh.
Oh,
so, what's your thoughts of how England are doing? And some people have actually said they're going to win the entire thing. Hell no.
Everyone always says we're going to win the entire thing because you get caught up in it. Look, the last 3 games have been dire to watch. They've been not entertaining. For me, football lives in a weird space because it's a competitive sport, but it's also an entertainment property and a live event experience property. And games like that don't fit the bill. But we finished top of the group. We're not playing at high tempo, so the players aren't knackered. I think that the point that Sir Gareth Southgate's trying to get at is that in his head, this is how you win tournaments. This is how the Italians have won so many Euros, so many World Cups. Because they start slow and unconvincing, but they've got energy later on in the tournament and they come good and they grow into the tournament. And you don't have to be the best team to win the tournament because the last Euros was won by, well, at the last Euros, the best team was beaten in the final by a team that was way below where they should have been, really, in Italy beating us. We were way better than Italy, but Italy won the game because they managed the game better. They managed the expectation better.
Who won the last Euros? Was it
Yeah, Italy beat England.
Who won the last Euros? Was it Italy?
But
I'm guessing.
Yeah, they beat us, and we should have hammered them. We should have been 4-0 up at half time. We went ahead really early, but off. And we should have won that. We should have won that game, but we didn't. So yes, we've been terrible to watch.
World Cup. And scored. That's as close as we're ever going to get to winning anything.
Well, but that's it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Because
it's just like, ugh. I know all these are coming home and all that, but
yeah, but you've got to get into the spirit.
As soon as England come up against France or Portugal or Spain, we're gone.
You know, when people say it's coming home, the vast majority of people don't believe it's coming home. They're just getting in on the fun. They're just enjoying being in the tournament. And as the tournament goes on, if we remain in it, the thing is, right, you can play, if we play a crap game every game for the rest of the tournament, but scrape through each one and we lift the trophy at the end of it, I'm not going to remember the fact that we stunk the joint out in every game. I'm just going to remember that moment where they're all stood on the platform lifting up this bloody big trophy. True. You know, it is what it is. That's football, but it's weird because it's a results business, but it's also an entertainment business. So it's a funny one, and people want to be entertained, especially when you're used to watching the Premier League week in, week out, where it's fast-paced and it's tick-attack football, and you know, you've got likes of Man City just turning it on all the time. You want entertaining games, and you don't want to see England very slowly knocking the ball about. But I will say, second half last night, we got it right. We pressured them, and we probably could have had a couple more. We just weren't great in the final third. But we've qualified top of the group. What more could you ask for? We could have won all those 3 games, and we still only would have finished top of the group. So it doesn't matter. On to the next and see what happens.
And Ian, before I ask my final question, have you got any questions? Jesus Christ, let's see if you can. Off you go.
The England match was a bit of sports entertainment there, Jim.
Well, less of the entertainment, more of the sport, but it should have been more entertaining. But yeah, it wasn't. If someone in a book,
who do you think this?
Meltzer would have been sitting on it.
When you're doing,
so I didn't catch that. You went a bit glitchy.
So I'm saying, who do you think?
I didn't hear that.
In the Euros.
Who do I think is going to win the Euros? I think that there's a few teams with a chance. I think Spain look very, very good, and they've got them young lads that are just going to run. And they're fearless because they're so young. They've not had enough elite level football to have any kind of anything kicked into them or knocked into them or have the confidence knocked out of them. Spain look really, really tasty this year. France are disappointed. Portugal don't look great and they're pretty old. Italy will always be a threat. We've got a chance. I'm not saying that we're going to win it, but I'd put us on the list of teams that've got a chance. But for me, Spain are the team to beat. They're the ones I'd put as my favourites.
And
I suppose my final Andy and hurry up.
That's the last one. When you do.
Oh God. I didn't hear a word of that.
No,
it's going rule number 1 for StreamYard, good internet. Above anything else, good internet. Try again. We'll move on.
Okay, simple question. When you're on Bolton FM, do they let you cover wrestling from both international and UK?
Yeah, my Tuesday show, I would often throw in a bit of wrestling. I'd have interviews with local promotions, and I've done a little bit of talk about bigger shows and things like that. Again, the show changed a lot when we got the Wanderers coverage, because then the first part of it was then Wanderers, whereas it used to be everything. I didn't used to do football on it because there was already a show that did football, but I was the first show of the week. So once we got the Wanderers coverage, we had to do Wanderers. So there was then less time for the boxing and the wrestling and the other bits and pieces that I'd cover. But yeah, we've done bits and pieces on wrestling. I've had some GPW guys on there, some BTW guys on there. This is Wrestling guys on there. I've had Mr. Cat's on there. I've had actual Mr. Cat on the show. Danny Sensation as well. Bin Man's been on. Drill. Ethan Kelly once rang in. No, Ethan Allen. See, I'm getting it wrong again. Too many Ethans. Ethan Allen once rang in. JJ Webb was on. We've had Philip Michaels been on. So I've done loads of bits and pieces. I've had Franco Varga. We interviewed Franco Varga. That was cool. In fact, we had Varga on once pre-recorded. He once came in live as well. That was cool. So yeah, I've done bits and pieces where I've been able to do some wrestling stuff. Yeah.
All right, no further questions.
And before I ask my final question, to go out, either you have to go off camera means your internet's not strong enough, which means it's rule number 1 for StreamYard before anything. They constantly tell you on YouTube, good internet. Anyway, if you've got a good internet connection for StreamYard, Anyway, so my final question is GPW. Are you going to be there, Jim, on the 7th? And are you looking forward? I'll be there. Are you looking forward to? Are you going? And are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, well, I'm a season ticket holder, so I'll be at all the shows for GPW. I'll be there probably a few beers deep because it's the first week of the month, so I will have been paid just before. So I will be enjoying myself and having a few bevs and giving all the heels some stick and wildly cheering all the baby faces, because it's a family show, and if I'm doing it, then the kids will do it and everyone will get more over. But yeah, I love GPW. Great shows. Great
and yeah, shows. Presumably, John, just a drink sort of restaurant, damn.
Yeah, I mean, the Monaco's not quite as cheap as it used to be, but they are still not the worst. And they're good shows, man. They're really good shows. Always have been.
I always had one regret when I visited London the last time. I always wanted to see the British strong style of wrestling.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see that that Manchester Liverpool style of wrestling.
Yeah, so
So in the future, when I'm afforded the opportunity to travel, that is the one thing that's going to be on my list. I want to go to a local wrestling show. So if I was an American coming to London or Manchester or Liverpool, what would be some companies you would recommend to me?
For that style, it's not. I don't tend to lean towards the stronger style stuff that often, but for that style, if you get yourself to a progress show.
Progress wrestling, definitely. Progress.
Like there's nothing better for it. If that's the style you're into, you know, good hard hitting
And
matches.
TJ,
Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Progress. It's just not the style that I would generally gravitate towards. I like it a bit more entertainment, a little bit more campy for the family. I love those kind of shows. But Progress is mint, and the wrestlers are great, and it's hard hitting. Sometimes it's seems a little bit fashionable, like a little bit in vogue. But that's not a bad thing. And if they can market off that, then absolutely more power to them, because it's good for wrestling. And yeah, it's good. And for that style, I think you'd really get a lot out of it. I think that if you could get to see Progress live, that'd be a really good show to go to for me. I mean, I'm sure there's loads that'll do that style as well, and don't want to take away from any other promotions, but I think Progress is the one for that.
So in America, they do weekend to wherever there is, they'll do shows. Next year it's Vegas, they'll do shows in Vegas. This year they did shows in.
Yeah.
Where was it this year?
Yeah, they like to get
Jesus
there a bit,
Christ.
especially around WrestleMania weekend as
Where's
well.
Mania this year? I forgot. Where was it?
WrestleMania was in
Was it this
Philadelphia.
year? I forgot.
Yeah, Philly, wasn't it? Philly.
Yeah, they were in Philly, and now next year they're going to
Yes,
Vegas.
they did shows. So they did shows in Philly then, yeah.
And they just did a deal. They just
and
got
TJ
more
just super impressed me by.
Go ahead.
Yeah, as TJ just super impressed. What Liverpool and Manchester are like. That super impressed me. So yes. Not many Americans know what Manchester is, or Liverpool is, or London, really.
Well, there's more to England than just London.
Oh, you're right. Liverpool, like I said, Liverpool was where I've lived there. It's a great city. And I lived
a great team
for a year that was from Seattle, so you know.
And trust me, there's a lot of layers to this.
Ian supported us not even in his country. I always thought you supported where you were from, but there it is. That's like,
hang on. Actually,
you even got in it. Let's not run down the football teams of Ireland. I'm not really interested. Anyway, GPW. So back to GPW. Jim, we'd be watching Money in the Bank the night before, and then here later on that night. Not bother.
We will see how my sleep goes. I would like to, but it might be a matter of getting up early and slapping it on before GPW or something like that. But we'll see. I do want to watch it. Money in Bank's always a great match, and you get two of them, so it's always a fun show. So yeah, I'll probably be watching it.
I'll be watching both because I do live watch-alongs for WWE, AEW. So I'll be watching both definitely, and I'll be there July 7th. GPW, the Great Brit Beatdown. Looks like a really good card. So yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I should.
And Bolton FM. So your next show for Bolton, is it?
Well, the next show that I'll be on might be on a pre-season, but I'm not sure about what we're doing with the pre-seasons yet. But I know that when the season starts, Wanderers have the first game, which is away at Leyton Orient in August, the 10th of August, something like that. That'll be when we're back with Wanderers Live for sure. And if I just have a look, I will find out. I will get you the dates.
Yeah, very quickly because got the rest to do. So but as Jim is dates, Ian, I want you to once I've finished this interview, introduce the first segment and play the video and bring up the banner. You have access to all of that. So video banner, introduce.
Oh, there you go. 4th of August. 4th of August for This Is Wrestling.
Not yet. 4th of August.
4th of August for the Sins of Ormskirk. And of
So,
course,
so that's the night after. I'm at SummerSlam watch party the night before. Probably won't be there. This is wrestling the night after, so they always seem to. So
yeah, the Friday the 19th and the 20th.
That are from the UK and go to indie shows.
But yeah, get down.
So 4th of August. This is wrestling.
20th as well for the Bolton Town Wrestling at the Lads and Girls Club. Of course, it's double header, but the first night's for members of Bolton Lads and Girls Club. But it will be live streamed, and apparently I'm doing commentary on the live stream as well, so you can enjoy that.
I'll certainly be watching that, and then unfortunately the night after LWF.
Nah, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on, but hey,
ATW, but it is.
Always buy the DVDs. Then listen to me.
Right then. So the rest of the podcast done here. So thank you for joining on the 7th. So
you're very
thank you.
welcome. Thanks for having me on. It's been great fun. Lovely to meet you guys. I'm not before.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, Jim. Best of luck.
Cheers. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody else.
Right. Thank you, and see you on the 7th. So Ian, the first video where you know what the first segment is each and every time. Banner and introduce it. That's going to be your role from now on. Okay, that was the banner, but video.
Hang on.
Correct.
Hang on. Oh, hang on. Video. Sorry, bro. Fucking. Oh, here. The banner.
I'll do it then.
No, I got it.
You had the. Why can't I get into my own thing? Oh, Jesus. Oh, there are banners. Right, so play the video and then introduce, because now TJ's going to introduce the wrestling video. Play the video.
Yes.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to.
I'll do that.
Let's
look at the video.
Wrong section. Wrong section. No, I got it.
Do you now? So what's cooking at the table?
TJ knows what's going on. So
if you smell
good internet,
what's cooking at the table?
This is why you need This is why good internet's the key, because you just have to play that twice. Jesus Christ. Anyway.
Do y'all got T-Mobile internet in London?
Where's that bottle of vodka?
Ireland?
Where's that bottle of vodka? Where's that Terramano tequila that you can now get at Tesco at £40 a bottle? I won't be getting it. Anyway, so yes, I've not been up to much, been to the gym, and then the craft class I go to, slept through last week. So that's it. I've been to the gym. There you go. So TJ, what have you been up to since last week?
I'm still studying for my social care license. I have to meet with one of my advisors, but one of the guys who helped me study for the social care license to help me recoup some questions. I took my social care practice test. I passed my practice test. So cross fingers, and one's up for me that I practice my actual exam. And then when I pass my social care exam, the world will be forced to acknowledge me as a social worker.
Yes. So yes, good luck in that. Definitely. Ian, so 2 questions. First of all, have you lost any more weight? And secondly, quickly tell us about this. I mean, and I do mean quickly because heavy metal music just bores me. I get what people like. There's people like anything. Anyway, have you lost any weight? And tell us about this festival you went to.
My weight, but I was at the Grass Pop Festival, which did have some connection to wrestling.
It had some connection to wrestling. We missed the rest because the internet went out.
Festival in Dessel in Belgium for a holiday. It was a great experience, my first ever festival. And there was one band on it that do have a connection to wrestling in the past. Would you like to know which band that was?
Off you go. Go on. Alice Cooper now. Not Alice Cooper.
Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit.
Who?
I didn't know.
Was there as well.
For the nookie. So you can take that cookie, stick it up there.
And they did Rollin'. And they probably did My Way, but I didn't stay to hear that one.
My favorite
and Alice
song,
Cooper.
My favorite song by them is Build a Bridge. It was the theme music for the 2003 Survivor Series.
2003. Oh, yeah, that's right. No, yeah, that's right. Yeah, 2003 Survivor Series. Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
And I think I saw Alice Cooper on the poster. I think he's been involved with wrestling, mainly Jake the Snake, I think. Again, I don't know, but ugh.
Yeah, so they were 2 of the acts there, but yeah, was there. He was involved in WrestleMania as well. It was a great festival experience. A lot of great fans, great atmosphere. Oh, it was actually, when I was in Amsterdam, I was in a place called the Arcade Hotel, where they had the classic wrestling arcade game, WWE Superstars.
Cool. Like I said, heavy metal music, just not for me. If Alter Bridge are heavy metal, that's as much as I go, but that's only because of Edge.
I've seen Alter Bridge live. They're good.
I've
seen Miles Kennedy live. He's a good singer.
Aussie are heavy metal, well, but they all wrestling. All to do with wrestling, so.
Well, kind of heavy metal, he's mostly incorporated metal into wrestling pay-per-views, especially in NXT and WrestleMania 40 as well.
Who?
I said Triple H is a big fan of heavy metal. He's always used it in wrestling pay-per-views, like when he was running NXT.
Well, think about it. His theme music is done by Motorhead, the biggest European.
Yes.
The biggest Welsh. Aren't they from Norway or something?
No, they're not from Norway. They're English.
Okay, I figured they were from up that area, but he uses Motorhead, even though the lead singer Lenny has passed away, but he still pays homage to them. Yes,
well, it's Lemmy, and at the Download Festival, he was actually presented with the Spirit of Heavy Metal Award, and he also was at Lemmy's funeral when he passed away in 2015.
Okay, so moving quickly on to our next segment here. No, Ian hasn't watched any movies, but I have, so they just make... Home Invasion on Netflix. That was a decent movie. Trigger Warning with Jessica Alba. That's new. That was okay. And also No Way Up. Not on Netflix, but that was a decent movie. I liked that. That was a good movie. Yeah. Have you been watching any movie? Well,
I only have 2, and they're documentaries. The first one is Tell Me You Love Me. Tell Me You Love Me is basically... So Tell Me You Love Me is basically about a guy who is diagnosed as I don't know if it's politically correct to say this, but he was diagnosed as mentally retarded, and he can only communicate on a speaking spell, but he was in a relationship with his aide.
You mean like Stephen Hawking?
Yeah, kind of like Stephen Hawking.
Like Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, kind of like Stephen Hawkins, but he was in a sexual relationship with his aide. And the other one I'm watching is The Keepers, which actually took place in my home city, Baltimore, Maryland, which follows the murder of a Catholic school teacher, and how certain organizations and people tried to cover it up, and how the students are now trying to look for the truth behind her murder.
Speaking of, it wasn't a documentary. Was it a documentary, Baby Reindeer? More of a series, was it? Did you watch Baby Reindeer, TJ?
Miniseries.
It was a series, but it's on the list to watch.
Very good, very good. I watched 7 back to back. It's only 7, but I watched them all back to back. Really good, a really good watch. Crazy that the guy, and it's all based on true events. The guy actually put up with all this stuff. I would have gone to the police straight away, or changed my email address straight away. But yeah, it's a good watch. So as I get a quick drink refill and go to the toilet, I'm going to play this. Hopefully I'll have enough time first. So Protein Tees Gulman's all designs. And like I always say, if you cannot buy a t-shirt, get it shared. All my socials on screen right now as we go to the next segment, and it's over to you, TJ, to introduce it. I don't know if you should be able to play the video. Can you play the video or not?
Let me see.
Do you have access to it? I'm sure you do. I don't know.
You can play the video. Let me see.
Okay, then. The access I gave you should allow you to play videos, but
welcome to the Wrestling Roundup. Time to lock up.
You have a really good voice.
That is right. That is right.
You have a really good voice.
I have a face for TV and a voice for radio. Win-win.
You do have a voice for radio. Fair play. You could do soul radio.
I've heard that. I actually, on the side, I actually do ASMRs.
Jeez, you could nearly sound like Isaac Hayes.
Well, if I move to Ireland, just connect me with some radio stations. I have a job.
Well, yeah, there's some good ones there.
If you have a hip hop station,
I have a face for radio.
You don't have a. We have a few. I'll see if I can find an online station one for you over there, mate.
So, Wrestling Roundup. Let's talk about this week's Raw.
I have a face for radio, starting way back at Speed, WWE Speed. So it was a random match that got more ratings than Dynamite. Just says, and I get WWE is the biggest when it comes to wrestling. You say to anybody in the world, and me wrestling company will say WWE, they're geniuses in business. But the fact that a random match on Speed got more views than Dynamite says it all. It's just like, that match was, unfortunately, I would have had Dijak pick up the win, but it was Xavier Woods defeating Dijak. Okay.
And there goes Dijak.
Silver. I would have had Dijak. winning.
Dijak
bring him up for
shopping
what?
again.
Bring him up for what?
I
If you've got
wouldn't say
no
he's
plan,
it's
of course
they
his job.
take that as a serious loss whenever they decide to.
So
I wouldn't be worrying there.
I would go as far to venture
trying
to
to
say
do
that
any of that,
Dijak is the
but
new Baron Corbin. Dijak's going through his Baron Corbin
why bring
stage.
these people if you've got no?
Yeah,
Why
like
bring these people if you've got
Dijak
no
is still
plan
trying
for
to
them?
find himself.
I just don't understand that. But TJ does watch Dynamite, so very quickly just run through the results. If you didn't watch it, Ian, it's purely.
So before you begin on Dynamite, my pop always told me if I have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. So while you're talking about Dynamite, I'm going to take this chip holder and put it over my mouth.
What's that? I don't even know what that is. But if you didn't watch it, Ian, fine. We're just going to base it purely based on results. So quickly. So your winner, MGF. Your loser, Roosh. Your winners, Orange. No, was this week? I can't even remember. Jesus Christ. I think it was last week. I think so. See, I'm so disinterested about AEW that I don't know, don't care. But your winners, Orange Cassidy, Dante Martin, Mark Briscoe. Losers were Kyle O'Reilly. And Kyle O'Reilly beat the Don Callis family. The Acclaim knocked off the Young Bucks. Chris Statlander defeated Nyla Rose. Rhett Titus, who I've vaguely heard of, took the L to Daniel Garcia, and Claudio Castagnoli came up short against Pac. I'll say a bronze. Very quickly, Ian, your thoughts on it?
So, as the timeout was on, I have a bit to catch up on, but I'm comfortable talking about. I kept it high in the highlights of SmackDown and Raw.
Your quick thoughts on those results of AEW?
I can understand because with the Owen Hart tournament, with the winner going to get a title shot to have Pac in there, plus he's facing the winner of the Bryan Danielson from Japan. Two Blackpool Combat Club members facing each other. Plus Pac still needs a win. If they tease the idea that he gets All in London, he's probably not going to.
And I'll say what I always say, we're almost 6 months in. We've got a few more days left of June. 6 months in, and we've been doing this for 6 months, and there's been nothing. Looking at all 3 AEW shows, there's been nothing that made me want to watch. And as a wrestling fan, I should want more wrestling. Now, I do want more wrestling, more WWE, but. And I'm very, 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 very quickly, I used to watch Dynamite. I used to do a show really quickly. I'll take 30 seconds to say this. It's called Unpopular Review. You may or may not have heard of it. It's based in America, TJ. You may have heard of it. They do. Very long story short. So they do. Jesus. WB reviews, AW reviews, movie reviews, game reviews, pay-per-view reviews. They do watch parties. I came on as a fan watching their shows. Then they did a promo battle. They brought me on for that. They liked what I did. They brought me on to do NXT AW review. So I had to watch Dynamite and NXT at the same time. That was just wonderful. Then I was brought on to do SmackDown reviews, Raw reviews, paper reviews. Then I had my own show doing my own gaming thing. And they liked what I did. So yeah, called Unpopular Review. Go and check them out on Facebook. So I used to watch Dynamite, and there'd been nothing that's brought me back. So once you lose those viewers, very hard to get them back. This week drew last week drew 500,000. So even the Bucks are having enough.
When it's close to, as Forbidden Door draws closer, do you think there's still interest in a Forbidden Door pay-per-view? Because, like, with AEW and New Japan, do you think there's still an interest since New Japan has lost a few people to AEW and WWE?
Calling it Door is complete and utter nonsense. It's AEW who's an indie company who's got a TV deal. That's it. They operate as an indie company who's got a TV deal, working with another indie company. Yeah, that happens all the time in the UK. Top Rope Wrestling works with TNT, for example. Wrestle Island works with BTW, for example. It's nothing new. It's been happening years where one indie company works with another one. So there is no Forbidden Door. That's just all bollocks. And there was never a Forbidden Door to begin with. It's one indie company working with another one. Yeah, that should be called good business. But with the 500,000, even the marks are having enough of AEW. Like, ugh. When a random match, and I get that WWE is the biggest, when a random match on Speed pulls in more views than Dynamite, says it all. And it's on, and it's that's on Twitter, X, call it what you like, straight into the action. So it's caged for people on X, but it just says it all. Anyway, let's get to the Rock show, the show that lays a smackdown on people's candy asses. So we had CM Punk coming out. Paul Heyman did. I'm loving Paul Heyman's facial expressions, just genius. Like, he wants to be saved by anybody. He's going to be saved by Reigns. But he wants to be saved by anybody from the bloodline. I just think he's genius. Then you had the bloodline come out. Cody did. Yeah, a good way to kick off SmackDown. TJ, your thoughts on the kickoff of SmackDown?
My thoughts is that Paul Heyman is going to be the most overfaced manager we've seen in a while. We've seen Paul Heyman be a sleazeball, but we've never seen Paul Heyman in this vulnerable state. Paul Heyman usually has a plan on top of a plan on top of a plan. But how do you prepare for somebody as unpredictable as Solo, as Tonga Lola? And now the Samoan werewolf is there, and he's even more unpredictable. So you have this Bloodline 2.0 that's running around being unpredictable, and he's missing the original Bloodline. You saw him give a look to Jay like, save me. So I'm just more enthralled with how this storyline is going to play out once Roman returns and when Roman returns, because we know the return is imminent, but we'll see. And we'll get into more of that later.
But dude, I just love how his facial expressions are like just the storytelling, just in his face, like somebody save me, please, because he's trapped in the bloodline, he can't escape, and just wants to save the. But your thoughts, Ian? I don't know if you watched back down and out, but your just thoughts on what I've said.
I watched 12 away, and I loved seeing Paul Heyman's face. So he knows. So until Roman decides to return from a person besides Brock Lesnar that he helped make into a star, and that being CM Punk. And I would have loved to see the segment between CM Punk and Solo Sikoa, but there was always a deal that Heyman had that when Punk returned, the bloodline would never target him. But we all know what happened with Punk afterwards.
And now, and speaking of that, now Punk is going to
more
blood. It's one thing to talk about
AJ. We'll get to more Punk in a second.
Okay.
We'll get into more Punk in a second after I go through this first match. So Chelsea Green is in Money in the Bank.
Chelsea Green.
Let's wait and see. But she defeated me. She defeated Michin and Bianca Belair in a triple. I like the doing triple threat. It makes it more of a fight. You have to beat two opponents rather than just a what. You get more people in the match. More people are on the show, but the main thing is more of a fight, and they have to defeat two opponents rather than just a one. So she defeated Bianca Belair and Michin. Is she an early pick to win? Let's see. But Ian, your thoughts on Chelsea Green qualifying?
Or 50 strand could be an early Money in the Bank. They both have that sort of like, look, Chelsea Green was to win. So let's see if they actually go ahead with that idea as Divas title as the secondary.
Right, your thoughts on qualifying for the match?
Well, she said that if she wins that Money in the Bank briefcase and cashes it in, she's starting a petition to bring back the Divas title.
Oh no, I didn't. He does that just look so ugly with a butterfly.
I think she wants to kind of bring it back and put it on kill with the North American title. Like NXT has a North American title. She wants to bring back the Divas title and put that as the mid-card title for the main roster.
The Diva title never looked like something. A title should look like something you'd want to win. The Divas title never looked like that. It just looked like a toy. So, and that's what the belts are.
Never did.
They're a prop. They're not. People don't really win or lose.
And I hate to say this slander. I hate to say this slander against my own, but it looks like a gay Jeff Hardy wet dream.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It didn't look like a title you'd want to win. It looked like, what's that? Like, ill.
I know.
But let's talk about more about
Chelsea Green does have that Divas presence.
And if so does
Carmella.
Like if you do that as well, you may have I'm just going to say that if they do give the Money in the Bank and the title on Chelsea Green, you may do more in WWE. Yeah.
We hate your internet.
The title looked like something you didn't want to win. The world hates Ian's internet. Jesus, thank God I'm drinking. Otherwise, I'd be annoyed. The Diva title didn't look like something you didn't want to win. That's the whole point of a title. Something that you go, oh, I want to win that. The Divas title was never that. It just looked like a toy. Looked like just a toy that they carried around with them. Like, ugh. It didn't look like a championship.
No, it was a toy, all right.
There you go. So it doesn't look like a toy. It should look like something you want to win.
They also had matches that didn't last too long. But if you do put the title, you may do more in luring Matt Cardona over back to WWE because there have been rumors he wants to appear at the Royal Rumble on February 1st.
Okay, we'll talk about that with the Rumble later on. So, talk about the best in the world. See, I would have drawn this out. I do love what Drew's doing, but I would have drawn it out. I would have had Triple H come out on Raw, and really drawn it out. Triple H comes out on Raw and says to Drew, "Okay, I'll give you what you want, and you clearly want a match against Punk at SummerSlam. You've got it." And like really drawing it out, really put the heat onto Drew. But I suppose he did this because Drew destroyed Punk in his hometown. So. Yeah, I liked it. As I said, I liked it, but at the same time, I didn't. So,
can we acknowledge one thing? Larry. It's one thing to talk about a man's wife, but to come for a man's dog, Punk's gonna wear your tail out now. That you
yes, if you came after my dog, I'd be killing you. Yes, my dog is precious to me. I love my dog very much. And if you came after my dog, I'd be killing you. So yeah,
I don't have a dog, but
I understand that.
I don't have a dog, but I have a cat. And if you came after my cat, they wouldn't find you.
I prefer.
That is true.
I like all animals, but I prefer dogs over cats. Dogs are more affectionate, but fair enough, whatever. Ian, your thoughts on Punk getting destroyed by Drew?
Well, it was bound. You embarrassed me in my hometown, I embarrassed you in yours. But now there's another way for match with Sheamus and Ilya. Does he find a way to play a part in that one, or does Drew get a
Punk? Well, that's next week, so we're supposed to talk about that now. But I like that the Money in the Bank. We'll get into this later, but I'll say this now because I'll probably forget later. I like that the Money in the Bank this year is not just some throwaway random match like it usually is. You've got storylines. You've got the Bloodline maybe going after Jay. You've got the Wyatts going after Gable, and you've got Punk going after Drew. Making a match must see rather than just some random match like it is every year. It's just, yeah, they're good matches, but they're just throwaway. So I like that. I like the storylines going into it. But speaking of that, into the men's Money in the Bank by rolling up and pinning Orton, Carmelo Hayes defeats Tama Tonga and Randy Orton to qualify. Cool, yeah. Carmelo Hayes probably needed this, and he pinned Orton, so he definitely needed that. Yes. Your thoughts, TJ?
He got the win that he needed, but he still needs that one thing to make him stick out on the roster.
What would you say that is? If you were booking Carmelo, what would you say that is?
He needs a consistent rivalry. It seems like he's just been talking this smack and going up against randoms, but he needs a consistent, ongoing rivalry. He needs something to legitimize himself on that main roster, because we've seen his work at NXT, but as the old saying goes, one cannot rest on their laurels.
Yeah, most people that get called up, people call it the curse, the call-up curse. Not many. If you look at most of the NXT call-ups, how many of them have really made it a handful?
And then he also has the cruiserweight curse too.
Yeah. Oh God. Yes. Let's not get into that. But Ian, your thoughts about Carmelo qualifying for the men's Money in the Bank a week on Saturday?
Yeah, I think that was the right call there. Like he will bring some excitement to Money in the Bank because he can do the dive from the top and then he just hits the spot. Does he have a chance to win? He's possible, but like it's very possible. But like, would it be a bit too soon for him to get the Money in the Bank briefcase?
I mean, it would be. It would make history.
Him being on the poster. I think with him being on the poster, Jay's winning it. You have Jay go after. If Gunther wins a title at SummerSlam, Gunther goes on an incredible title run, years as champion. He was years as champion as NXT UK champion, years as champion as IC champion. So if he's not world champion for a year, I'd be shocked. So Jay goes after Cody. You ain't turning Jay Hill because it doesn't work otherwise. Or you turn Cody. Could do that. Anyway.
I don't think Jay's winning either. I don't think Jay's winning. I think it's too. I think with the Bloodline story now starting to increase, and if they are going to screw Jay, I don't think the Money in the Bank should be involved in the Bloodline Civil War the same way the King of the Ring shouldn't have been.
So that tells you who's winning.
And
if posters mean anything,
before you go on, now that you mentioned the Bloodline, there is one outside underlying factor now in the Bloodline. So Roman Reigns' OG passed away on Monday. Let's raise one for him.
Yep.
And with that underlying factor coming, that's going to make him way over. That's going to make Roman the babyface of the biggest babyface since Cena. And I just want to see Friday how they're going to incorporate Sika's passing into the acknowledgement ceremony.
I say they will find a way of including that. Like they'll also include the little tribute to him at the beginning of the show.
I wish we could give a 10-bell salute for Sika.
The thing of as much as I love Reigns, probably one of his biggest fans. The podcast named after him. Got lots of Reigns merch. But in being a bigger face than Cena, Cena's broke the all-time record for Make-A-Wish. Cena was a face for 10 years. Cena's broke the record for like 500 Make-A-Wishes he's done, but maybe even more than that. Maybe closer to 1,000 now. So, as much as I love Reigns, oof.
He'll be over with the crowd.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah.
Oh yeah. But does Sika's death give him more time away to grieve?
Well, I mean, he'll have till SummerSlam possibly to come back.
Yeah, if he decides to come back by then.
Because we know it's going to possibly be back around SummerSlam. But no man knoweth the hour that the tribal chief shall return.
Yeah, do you have him return at SummerSlam? If it's Solo versus Cody, you have him Reigns return at SummerSlam to do a match. Reigns versus Solo, Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Bad Blood's in October. Okay, then I don't know. you could build it to Bad Blood. You could build it to Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell.
You could do a Bad Cell match.
But quickly,
like
let's move.
Versus McIntyre.
But let's finish up SmackDown here. So LA Knight came out. Santos Escobar did. Logan Paul side blindsided Knight. Just hypes up their triple threat match next week. Okay. Andrade. Andrade, Grayson Waller, Kevin Owens. I love the finish of this. Grayson Waller flipped into the ring. Andrade turns him into the DDT. Great finish. He advances to Money in the Bank. Yeah, great. I like that. Would I make Grayson Waller do it? Okay, I like that Andrade did it. Yeah,
Kevin Owens.
And I like the finish at the end. So yeah, your thoughts, TJ, of Andrade being in Money in the Bank?
Well, Andrade is just going to probably be there for the highlight reels, just like Carmelo Hayes. I expect him and Carmelo Hayes to share some nice spots and some highlight reels that we can remember, but I don't see Andrade winning it just yet because Andrade really hasn't mastered his English.
Yeah, and how can he cut a promo if people can't understand him? Yeah, how can he cut a promo if he goes heel? If he won and he cashed in on Cody and he went heel, how can he even cut a promo when people can't understand him? So yeah. Your thoughts, Ian, of Andrade and MITV, Money in the Bank?
I agree he'll have some good spots. I think he could talking about if you give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, who is also Andrade's it factor?
What? Say that again quickly.
Who is, see if you both notice, who is his it factor, his way to help him with his promos? Like Paul Heyman with Roman, who is the person that can help him with his promos?
Zelina help.
Give up.
Or maybe Charlotte when she comes back.
Exactly, yes. Him and Charlotte together, like.
But do you see Andrade as a future WWE champion or world champion? I don't. So
Triple H is champion.
Do you see Andrade
a bit more?
If being WWE champion and it isn't is the top star and face of the company, that makes Jinder Mahal face of the company when he's champion. He wasn't.
Andrade is a better wrestler. We've seen what Andrade can do. We've seen what Andrade can do. He's a better wrestler than Jinder.
And AJ Styles, that makes him face. He wasn't. He opened most pay-per-views and most SmackDowns, so he wasn't the face. So BW champion doesn't make you the face. It's a prop. It's a belt. You're carrying a belt around. They don't really win. But I don't see Andrade as a
better wrestler.
I don't see Andrade as the face of the company. No.
No, nobody saw.
Well, first off,
was the main event wrong. But look where we're at now.
Exactly. And here's the thing: a wrestler, then Lakers always had faith in
God,
give
oh,
for Mexican wrestlers into WWE. I mean, look at it this way.
so
Look at
you see Andrade as the face of the company,
all,
and that's why you're not booking WWE. Because if you were booking WWE and
hang
Andrade
on,
is the face of the company, they'd be not out of business. The WWE's always going to make money.
hang on,
They'd be out of business quicker than they're going to be anyway. If they're ever going to be out of business, you would put them out of business by making Andrade the champion. Who's Andrade pulling in? Nobody.
I didn't say he's going to be the face. Now, hang on, let me talk. I never said he was going to be the face of the company. I said Andrade. You also can use it to lure more Mexican wrestlers into WWE.
No.
So
Mexican
the last
wrestlers.
one was Damian Priest, and the last top one.
Mexican wrestlers aren't coming in.
Damian Priest is Puerto Rican, not Mexican. There's a difference.
I said Latino.
Right.
Ricky just kept cutting over me.
Right. This thing of, well, whoever's champion, they bring in more wrestlers. No, they don't. People come to WWE for money. Money. No. Money.
Yeah,
they come for money. They come for money. They're getting paid. It's a job. They're getting employed. It's a job. They're coming to WWE for the money. All these ex-AEW guys aren't there against Cody's champion. They're not there against Cody's champion. They're there for money. They're there for money. Money. That's the only reason they're there, and they get better treatment than AEW if they're coming back. So
now, hang on. I'm aware Andrade was in AEW.
So you can give
I'm just saying you can also
Andrade the world. That doesn't attract wrestlers to WWE. The money does. Anyway, let's finish up SmackDown here. So Cody Rhodes.
If you make on, you can attract more Mexicans.
No, it wouldn't. The money does. The money is a job. The money does. The money. Where the money resides.
Where the money resides. Where the money resides. Where the money resides. And that's on Mary had a little
that as well, but also.
Fuck no. You don't understand the wrestling business. It's a business to make money. You could make Andrade a 60-time world champion. Does that pull in extra talent from other Mexican companies? No, the money does. They're getting paid. They won't do it for free.
Where the money resides.
Money. That's the draw.
Perfect.
They're looking at the bank. They're looking at
more Mexican.
No. They're looking at the dollar. No. You're not a wrestler, so you don't get it. I'm not a wrestler either, but wrestlers look at dollar signs.
You're not a wrestler either, dude.
They're not right.
Wrestlers aren't paper bag.
Wrestlers aren't marks. Because the AEW roster are marks doesn't mean every wrestler's a mark. Wrestlers don't look at Andrade is champion, I'll go to WWE. They're looking at the dollar signs. Dollar signs attract. That's why they're in WWE. Fuck all to do with who the champion is. Great. That's something they could aspire to, and maybe one day, yes, be WWE champion. But that's not the draw. Money. Anyway, Cody Rhodes lost to Solo Sikoa by DQ. Obviously, that's not the biggest story here. Jacob Fatu debuted and destroyed 3 top stars. Orton, Cody, Owens, just like that. Which makes Cody again is an afterthought. Again, it's about the bloodline. Okay. Your thoughts, TJ?
Jimmy's itching for a return. And when Jimmy comes back, Jimmy is coming for blood. Jimmy might cost the bloodline this match. Jimmy's itching for a return.
I would have my theory. We'll get Ian's thoughts on, and this isn't let's turn into the Cody Rhodes love show, right? He was the afterthought in all of this. Nobody, not one person is talking about Cody Rhodes after SmackDown. Therefore, he's the afterthought. I think that you have. So this is what I would do. The Bloodline beat Cody, Orton, Owens at Money in the Bank. They destroy everybody in Money in the Bank. Solo takes down the briefcase. He holds onto that briefcase until SummerSlam, loses to Cody. They beat up Cody, and who returns? The Rock. They hand him the briefcase. He puts his foot on Cody's chest. 1, 2, 3. New champion. The Rock's done nothing. Handed the title. Makes him even more of a heel. And the Bloodline cannot be controlled, and he needs somebody to return, and out somebody's reigns. There you go. You've just set up your main event for Mania. Early. There you go. But your thoughts, Ian, on Jacob Fatu's debut?
Well, he wants his debut to make an impact, because we all thought he'd be debuting at Backlash, and they did the job there, making it an impact. Him being able to destroy Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens. Then the day after that, at a house show, Cody claimed that Jacob Fatu broke 2 of his ribs because he wanted to sell the threat of the new Bloodline.
Didn't really though, did he? Because you don't tape your ribs if you've had bruised ribs before.
You also have to sell to make him look good in his debut. You have to make it. You have to sell his debut as good. Like, remember when Braun Strowman debuted with the Wyatt family? He was able to destroy both Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose.
But neither of those was champion, so
Cody
just feels like an afterthought.
Roman was still considered the top star at the time.
Wasn't
But
champion though.
But he was still the top star. And Braun Strowman a wrestler he knew without his inexperience.
But he wasn't the champion. But he wasn't the champion. Cody just feels like an afterthought after SmackDown. Nobody, not one person, is talking about Cody after SmackDown. They're talking about Jacob.
They're talking about Jacob. We're going to talk about them. When someone debuts like that.
Yeah, so therefore Cody's an afterthought.
It doesn't mean he's an afterthought. It just means that someone debuts like
yes,
that.
He is. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Who was after SmackDown? Who was talking? Who got talked about? Cody or Jacob Fatu? Jacob Fatu. Cody's an afterthought.
If he was surprisingly debuted, that doesn't mean he's an afterthought and whatsoever. You just want him to be an afterthought.
No, he is an afterthought because people weren't talking about him.
By the way, it's Cody's 80th day as champion.
It's been that long.
Right. It's a bit early to be talking about that. Don't you normally talk about those things when they get to 240?
I mean, every milestone is a milestone.
And in 80 days, I said it, and I'll really so okay. Let's get rating for SmackDown, and I'll quickly go through what I said. I think I said this 2 weeks ago, and I said it on my live stream as well when I was doing for Clash of the Castle. But I'll go over, and it's done quickly. 2 months, evaluated 2 months of Cody's run. In no particular order. So, rating for SmackDown, I'll say a silver. Your rating, Ian?
I'll say a gold for the Jacob Fatu debut and the triple threat Money in the Bank matches.
TJ, your rating?
I'll say a silver.
So, in 2 months, in no particular order, and it don't care why this has happened, I focus on it's happened. You can put any spin, any excuse you want on it. I focus on this has happened in no particular order in 2 months. So a week after Mania, sold more t-shirts. Again, this is no particular order. I'm just randomly going through these. King of the Ring, so Double or Nothing. So AEW, a lesser known company than WWE, got more Google searches than King of the Ring with Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. Damn. The receipts, and this is no year run or a year run. This is 2 months, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 10 weeks at the most. There was empty seats. At least 3 SmackDowns of Bloodline as main evented. How many SmackDown was Reigns not all over SmackDown or in the main event spot in the 3.5 years? 0. He was on every single SmackDown. On the SmackDowns he was on, he entered, or he was all over it. I can't remember what else. Oh, Liv pulled in more social media views last week than Cody did. And there might be more, but that's in 2 months. Also, big thing is they've lost 1 million views since WrestleMania. Now they were watching for The Rock. What that tells me is those casual fans find nothing interesting to watch, which means nobody's a draw. So Cody's not a draw. The whole roster isn't a draw to them. Cody's included in that roster. He's not a draw to those casual fans. Those casual fans didn't want to stick around. They're a Rock, an actual star. That's all in 2 months. Cody can't even for ST. How is top star? And if it was because they were against baseball or whatever they were against, so more people choose to watch baseball than NXT, says it all. A draw is drawing your attention away from whatever. So more people chose to watch baseball or whatever it was on, whatever sport was on. So Cody's not a draw. Clearly, the ratings, and if those people that say ratings mean nothing, are talking utter bullshit. Ratings are everything. Be all, end all. Ratings have got WB onto Netflix. So ratings are everything. From beginning to end of show, with that Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, everything should be geared to ratings. Be that a promo, a match, in-ring segment, backstage segment, a match. The whole lot should be, how do we get ratings? Cody couldn't pull in the ratings for their developmental brand. No, he's not the top star at all. In no shape or form. Nothing's changed. I said it wouldn't anyway. Let's get into the other Friday show, which is Level Up. So quickly, 3 matches. Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Eagle defeated Cutler James and Dion Lennox. Charlotte Hill over Uriah Connors, and Carmen Petrovic, who we'll get onto later for NXT. It was on winning ways against Ren Sinclair. I'll say a silver. I do like Level Up. Quickly, let's do AW again and watch. So we'll just quickly run through this. So we'll do Rampage and Collision together, Ian. Quickly, just your thoughts on the results. If you didn't watch, Okay, so Private Party went. So Metalik and commanded Private Party. Turbo Floyd lost to Ray Phoenix. Leo Rush knocked off Action Andretti. Shingo Jesus Christ, these names. Takagi, whatever. Beat AR Fox and Willow Nightingale. Got the WIN against Serena Deeb. I'll say a bronze. Quickly, your thoughts, Ian, on the results.
They were more for high flying and more just a preview for Forbidden Door, especially for New Japan and CMLL.
Collision, Samoa Joe and Hook. Samoa Joe, Hook and Shibata defeats the Premier Athletes. Chris Jericho and Big Bill did the same to Private Party. Ultimo Guerrero did the job for Okada. Irons, what's up? Hello, Billy. Continue to get your comments in. What did you think of AEW last week and SmackDown and Raw and all of that? Has he not? Brian Keith is great. No, he's not. No. He's on a losing streak.
He actually wrote to us a while. I think he wrote to us a couple of shows ago.
Who's that? Who's coming to that?
Fake account?
Again, you said it's each and every time. People make fake accounts, don't you? Yeah, you do. People make fake accounts all the time. Anyway, quickly going on with Collision, Jack Jameson and Iron Savages, I guess two indie guys got beat by the patriarchy. Layla Hirsch and Lady Frog by Tony Storm and Maria May, and LSG and MSG they took the L to House of Black. Your thoughts on that, Ian?
The House of Black needed a recovery after losing at Double or Nothing, so a win was needed there.
Okay, I'll say just these random names do for anybody. Just like, again, I'll never step in the way of indie talent, but I would put Collision on to just why not? And he sent that.
Oh, yeah.
So on the uncut Monday night brand, Monday night Billy's from America. From I don't know how far Texas is from Baltimore. Is it far away or?
Who?
So Texas, is it far away from
Texas?
Baltimore or?
Oh yeah, Texas is a minute. Yeah, Texas is near Mexico.
So
in fact, Texas actually used to be a part of Mexico.
Did it? Okay. So the uncut brand Monday Night Raw. You have the Miz on commentary.
2025.
Cool.
Yeah, Pat McAfee's father-in-law died. That's why he was on the commentary.
Drew McIntyre. So yep, I presume he's just agreeing with Texas was part of Mexico. Damian Priest kicks off. No, Damian Priest. Drew McIntyre kicks off proceedings. Yeah, great. I'm loving Priest Drew's work. Yeah, no complaints from me. So, Ian, your quick thoughts of Miz on commentary.
Well, the reason he was mostly
your
on was
thoughts of
because
Miz on commentary and
died. No, he was good on commentary with Michael Cole. I'd like to see him do more of that in the future. Drew, another banger of a promo there. Should he win Money in the Bank? I don't think he will. I think Ilya will beat him in that one.
No, I think Punk will cost Drew the match.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He was going into it.
Even Drew will be Punk cost Drew the match. Bill even further to SummerSlam.
Yeah. Could you imagine if he had AJ Lee cost him? It's Ilya Dragunov and Sheamus.
Yeah, because Kaiser is now injured thanks to Sheamus.
Ilya should win. Ilya should win, but Drew does win.
No, I think it's going to be Ilya because I think all the people.
But yeah, TJ, your thoughts on the Miz on commentary?
So Miz is
you also
always,
think AEW is good, so
Miz is good on the mic, so it only makes sense that he's good on commentary. The reason Miz was on commentary was because Pat McAfee, after he finished his show, found out his father-in-law passed away and couldn't attend Monday Night Raw. But Miz did a good job of holding down the fort until R-Truth opened his mouth
and got them into trouble with the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I swear R-Truth is schizophrenic.
Was your internet working there, Ian?
Yeah, it was working.
It was your internet working there, Ian. Jesus Christ!
Oh, good. Miracles.
Yeah, it works. It works, then it doesn't. Anyway, your TJ, did you like Drew's promo kickoff Raw?
Yeah, I did. And now that you came for a man's dog, Punk is going to destroy you. Punk's probably
yeah.
going to push over the ladder. And every time Punk screws over Drew, Wade Barrett gets a little, it triggers Wade Barrett.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was going mental in the UK. Here's a quick idea. Say if Drew wants to qualify for Money in the Bank.
It's the internet.
He could get AJ Lee. Could he get AJ Lee to play a part in costing him? Like the way, remember when AJ Lee circled around the ladder for John Cena and then she pushed him? Could she do that to Drew and Punk pushes him?
That would be interesting because you know AJ Lee has her own company right now. Wow, yeah. That she's working on.
Yep, Women of Wrestling.
F5, I thought that said it's the internet. F5, the internet. Right then.
No, there is an F5P on your keyboard. There's an F5P.
Right. I know. I read that as is. We spoke about this earlier on with James saying breaking kayfabe. Breaking kayfabe. Apparently, Punk was seen leaving the after he got destroyed by Drew. He was seen leaving the venue in his car.
Yeah. I heard a lot about
that. It was Breaker taking on Ludwig Kaiser. Not sure who the heel is here. If they were both heel, who do we boo? Who do we cheer for? This is why nobody's over.
I would say you boo for Ludwig.
Getting a win. And you not understanding that Braun's heel as well. So whatever. This is why wrestling nobody's over and wrestling is where it is, and they're both heel. Right? Heel versus heel, face versus face never works. He beat Ludwig Kaiser by DQ, and now he's got a match against Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title at Money in the Bank. And I will DW matches on the pay-per-view on a random Dynamite Collision Rampage. WWE the same. This is that says, oh, pay-per-view. Anyway, TG, your thoughts on Braun getting the win and getting his matchup?
So I would say that Ludwig Kaiser was the heel because Ludwig Kaiser has always just been so snobby. And right now, Braun is riding a wave of momentum. He's over with the crowd. So for that match only, Braun was face. And then Ludwig was trying to end him, and Sheamus came down for the save. But I have a feeling that it's going to be a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title soon because Braun is tired of everybody in his business.
And yes, that's what they've done.
And Ludwig's trying to legitimize himself. Ludwig's trying to legitimize himself as a solo act. The Intercontinental title is the only title that's preventing Sheamus from being a Grand Slam champion. That's always eluded him. Braun is trying to make a name for himself on the roster. And Sammy's just like, come one, come all. And Sammy actually has his one-man show that's happening that weekend in Toronto during Money in the Bank. Maybe Johnny Knoxville will make another appearance and get on his nerves.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe if Braun was against Ludwig, he then healed it back up. This is why it doesn't make sense. This is why nobody's over, because there's no real good characters anymore.
No, Braun's character has actually been really good. He's been really.
Nobody sticks to being a heel. Nobody sticks to being a face. It's like,
but like,
no, it hasn't. No, it hasn't. No, it hasn't at all.
I like Braun's character now. Like, Braun is just so
good at all.
Braun is just
he's awful.
Braun is so. I like Braun's character now. Braun's character is just
good,
so unpredictable. Like,
character. He's good in the ring and he's good at the power moves and all that, but his character, what's his character? Is he heel, is he face? Who knows? Who cares?
his character is really someone who's so unhinged that he hasn't.
But your thoughts on Braun? So women's triple threat to qualify for Money in the Bank: Lyra Valkyria, Shayna Baszler, and was it Kairi Sane? I will say what I always say about Shayna: multi-time world champion by shit. If wrestling's can't get realer than Shayna Baszler. So she'd be a 10-time, 11-time, 20-time by now. But Valkyria did win this, and she will now see herself in Money in the Bank a week from Saturday.
The Pride of Ireland.
I would have had Shayna win.
For now. By the way, who are you asking about Braun Breaker?
Oh, I don't know. We've moved on from that. So, your thoughts on Lyra winning, Ian?
Yeah, she was the obvious call there. After getting to the King and Queen Ring final, she was bound to go for Money in the Bank as well. Will she win it? Hard to say. We know Io Sky's in there as well.
Io Sky is not going to win it.
No, she won't win it either. That's just to continue the feud with her and Lyra.
Something I am liking on Raw, things are definitely heating up. Things are definitely. So Liv Morgan comes out. Dominic Mysterio did. Zelina Vega did. Why they're not doing Zelina, Liv, Money in the Bank? Why is that just a anyway? And then Rey Mysterio. And I love Dominic pushes Rey away, so Liv thinks that she's. So Liv thinks that Dom's, but it's a fact that Dom hits his father. So it's just great storytelling. Yeah, I'm loving that.
I have an epiphany. I think Dom is going to go back to Ray when his woman troubles are too much. Whenever a guy has issues with a woman or a straight guy, he always goes to his dad.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, he does do that as well.
Dominic,
I think Dom's gonna. I think eventually it's pushing that Dom.
It was like, because she didn't get mine.
I know, because it's going to get to a point. It's going to be.
In your thoughts on the whole.
I'm loving this story at the moment. I'm loving Liv at the moment as just trying to really seduce and get her way into the Judgment Day. She's already kind of played that part as well. Like you're saying about, she at the moment is most looked up than Cody, but there's a little in factor she has. Always remember one thing: sex sells. Liv Morgan doing the stuff with Dominic Mysterio, like grinding him and just hugging him and just is filling every pubescent teenage boy and horny virgin's fantasy for those that want to get with Liv Morgan.
Right, but in your
think
world,
about it, like,
Cody's the guy. Cody's
we're not talking about Cody, we're talking about Liv Morgan. And at the moment,
let's go straight into Dreamland. Cody's going to be as big as The Rock. Cody's me as big as...
Ricky, why do you keep pulling... When I'm talking about... I was actually talking about Liv Morgan. I was just going back to what you were saying earlier on. And you have to ball it up there. And look at poor TJ's face. He's getting bored as well. I was actually explaining a good point. And you're kind of setting it up there, mate. Yeah, this wasn't about Liv Morgan.
When hell freezes over, Cody's will be as big as The Rock.
Yeah, but hang on, I'm not actually talking about Cody Rhodes. Will you shut up and let me speak,
king, Cody's will be as big as The Rock. When
Ricky, let me speak, please, mate.
When unicorns exist, Cody will be as big as The Rock. You get total dreamland. But in your world, Cody's the guy, so you should be putting in views above everybody.
Yeah, hang on, Ricky. I wasn't referring to Cody. I wasn't referring to Cody. I was only referring to something you were talking about, Liv Morgan. Why Liv Morgan is getting that audience. It's a simple factor. Sex sells. We saw in the past with people. Morgan is just reaching out to those pubescent teens and horny virgins of today that are jealous of Dominic Mysterio taking away their little fantasy. They want to be the one being seduced by Liv Morgan, not Dominic Mysterio.
So if
TJ agrees.
No, I just nodded my head back and forth.
They
but
don't care
in a sense,
about Cody.
they
don't care.
Hang on, let him speak.
Now, in a sense, Liv Morgan is trying to finesse her way into Judgment Day. But like I said, Dominic Mysterio is going to go back to his father because when Rhea Ripley comes back, he'll be in between a rock and a hard place, literally.
Oh yeah,
and
because he's Dominic Mysterio.
And he'll literally have to be like, Dad, I need your help. Save me. I got 2 psycho chicks coming after me. And then he'll go into his La Cheat Steel stage and be like Eddie.
Oh yeah.
Though I wish Vicky Guerrero would have been in my line.
Speaking of,
that'd be weird.
Money in the bank, climbing the ladder to the briefcase, a zombie match. Chad Gable got what buries the Wyatt 6 stuff. Chad Gable got killed, and he's back a week later. He did a couple of weeks. He didn't take him off TV for a month to sell this. He was back a week later after being shot in. What? And not only did he do that, 2 of the biggest guys on the roster in Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed. But a shot. How is that putting over the Wyatt stuff? Ew. Dead on arrival, like TJ, your thoughts on qualifying?
So my thoughts is that I see him why they qualified him, because even though he's going to be going to war with the Wyatt 6, he's going to need all the help he can get. So he's going to go to Diamond Mine and Ivy Nile for the assistance to help fight off the Wyatt 6, because he's already been outcasted from his old family, Maxine Dupree, Akira Tozawa, and Otis. They already said you can't come back. Actually, Otis said you can't come back. Maxine is trying to work on him. So maybe in between that the Wyatt 6 might be the thing to unite, might get Chad back to being face, because the Wyatts only came after him because he stopped saying thank you. He became more self-absorbed. The Wyatts are the anti-faces. They go after the evils of the WWE now. And like LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, Jerry the King Lawler, they go after the problematic things in WWE. So they saw Chad Gable as problematic and they fixed him.
But if wrestling's meant to be real, and that's what it is, it's suspension of disbelief. You know, it's based on reality. Chad Gable got killed. He got shot in the head, and he came back and beat big guys. Why does nothing to at least take a week off thing? And also, why didn't it give that a perfect way to run more week and said, you're going to be the guy to get killed, and that's why he never returns. Your thoughts on Chad Gable qualifying for the ladder match, Ian?
Say if he does win the Money in the Bank ladder match, you were talking about the possibility of Sami Zayn, Braun Breaker versus Sheamus. Does he use that in an attempt to cash in on Sami Zayn to finally get that Intercontinental title win?
No, he already made his intentions clear. He wants the World Heavyweight Championship now. So he moved on from the Intercontinental title.
But I'd say then the White Six will prevent that there.
So again, this is why. So again, this isn't reason why you don't book. So the money in the so they're gonna so if I'm a wrestler, I'm in Money in the Bank. It's 5 people. I'm gonna be going through a few ladders. So and I know that that's for the Intercontinental title. Why the fuck would I want to be in that match when any random person on any random Raw can get a backstage match to get a match for the IC title like that? All they've got to do is run to Adam Pearce and say, "I makes it official, done." So why would I not leave that match, go backstage and say, "I want a match for the IC title, official, done"? How does that make the Money in the Bank procedure? Any fucking Raw gets an IC title shot. It's meant to be prestigious. It's for a world title shot.
Yeah, but Chad Gable should go out any world title at the moment now, especially with the competition that's in there.
Please, but Chad Gable isn't winning it. If he is, whatever. If there's been failed cash-ins, going to the IC title when any random person, any random Raw gets a title shot like that, why would I? In reality, why would I want to be in that match? If I can just go backstage and just give me an IC title match, because I want one. That's what Braun Strowman did. Braun Breaker. I want a match. He got one. It didn't need to be in a ladder match. No, when they did it with Austin Theory, yeah, it should be for a world title shot. I think the Money in the Bank is definitely title with any random person and any random Raw or SmackDown gets an IC title shot like that. Women's tag team actions. Current newly crowned women's tag team champions Alba Fire, Isla Dawn defeat the KC's Kane and Corey Katana chance. Cool. Yeah. Thoughts on this?
First title defense, so they're bound to retain. But this is like with Io now going into the ladder match, you want something for Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane, so you add them into the tag title picture, give them the first pay-per-view title defense for Dawn and Fire. So
it was a non-title match, but okay. And TJ?
I'm over Dakota Kai being in the women's tag team division. They need a mid-card women's title for her to go after.
Well, they may bring back the Divas title. So.
Look at my face.
Again, this is why I'm not booking it.
Yeah, it's referring to the joke from Chelsea Green. It's a joke from the Chelsea Green thing.
It looked like a toy.
I know.
It looked like it looked like a toy.
I know, I remember. It was a joke.
Championship should never look like a toy. You want to win, right? No. Okay, Damian Priest came out. I think he's getting a whole lot better at promos. Seth Rollins came out. This just hypes up Money in the Bank. We'll get your thoughts on that in a second. But also made for Money in the Bank, the Bloodline takes on Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. So TJ, your thoughts on the Damian, Seth, back and forth.
I like the stipulations of the match. If Seth loses, he can't compete for a World Heavyweight Championship as long as Damian's champion. But if Damian loses, he's out of Judgment Day. So
yeah, that is actually
yeah. So
and Judgment Day, and it would actually make sense because with Rhea's return, the OGs aside from Finn, the OGs would be out of Judgment Day, and they would actually be put in Edge's seat. And they would have to go against Liv and the new Judgment Day. So, and possibly have to save Dominic. So, this could be interesting to see with Damian going face, and Liv going face and them having to rescue Dominic, that could be an interesting story dynamic.
You mean Rhea going face?
Rhea going face, yeah. We've been on this podcast so long between you two arguing that I lost track of the wrestlers.
Yeah, sorry, I don't try to argue with him.
Sorry, I apologize.
It does sound like a
if you have, look at things.
If Priest does get kicked out,
wrestling is a bit as a mark. So
yeah, but I'm talking as a fan as well. But like, yeah, that does the stipulation does make the match a great main event.
I look at wrestling what's going to be WWE.
Yeah, but I also want to look at it as a fan and like have fun with it as well. That's what a podcast meant to be. Anyway, yeah, the stipulation is a great idea. It definitely says that this will main event the pay-per-view on July 6th. So like you could go either way. Like say if you did have Damian Priest win, what would you give Seth Rollins then say for SummerSlam? But that I think is more likely winning because originally they were supposed to be Seth versus Punk at WrestleMania 40, but then CM Punk returned and everything changed. So
it's a reason there, is this reason 50 billion that you reason 50 billion. Reason 50 billion that you don't book a wrestling company. So let's make Seth champion and Gunther beats a champion that's been who held the title for a month. Yeah, I mean it was Gunther look strong. Well done.
Now hang on.
Strong
didn't The Rock beat The Undertaker?
He doesn't look strong beating Priest.
Hold on. Didn't The Rock
look strong beating Priest, but he looks stronger beating Priest.
Hang on. In 2018, beat The Undertaker for a title, only to lose a month.
Didn't hear a word of that. And what year was that? What year?
I said The Rock after a few months away from WrestleMania, when the WWE lose it to a month later at SummerSlam to Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, so it was the year
2002.
So 20 years ago. Right, we've moved on.
Yeah.
So 22 years ago.
Professional, so he has no problem also putting over new guys. He's a professional at it. I mean,
no, right. That doesn't. Again, that's the reason 50 billion why you don't book a wrestling company, and that does nothing for anybody. It does not make anybody look strong. It just make money for the company. It's what a mark would do. Priest doesn't.
But like,
Gunther
Damian Priest beating
Gunther beating Priest strong. Speaking 3 did come out, got a promo. I enjoyed that. Karrion Kross knocked off Kofi Kingston. Yeah, that was cool also. Your thoughts on that, Ian, quickly? You're on Karrion Kross going over.
He's beaten 9 world champions now. He made that little statement earlier on.
I thought it was 7.
I probably couldn't name it. Oh, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, 9 or 7.
7. Jeff Hardy.
Maybe it was 7, sorry.
Jeff Kofi. I probably couldn't name the rest. Ray. I think he beat Ray.
Jeff Kofi, Finn Balor, Rey Mysterio.
Right, we'll be here all night. So, TJ, your thoughts on Karrion Kross getting the win against Kofi?
The New Day is getting stale, and I can't wait for Kofi's heel turn or Xavier's heel turn.
I could see.
And ending Monday
Night Raw. Maybe Xavier has a better idea of being a heel than Kofi.
But who cares? Who cares about whether Xavier or Kofi? They're 5th on Raw. There's higher things, there's more important things on Raw than Kofi. Morgan, Damian Priest, Punk.
Well, we're nearly coming to the end of the new. We're nearly coming to the 10-year anniversary of the formation of the New Day. So maybe break them up after that.
Kofi Kofi turns heel, Wood beats him. Okay, Kofi loses to everybody. Woods turns heel and Kofi beats him. Woods loses to everybody. Whoopie-doo. Okay, Woods now beats Kofi twice, vice versa. Why do I care? Why do I? At least they're giving something to do, which is cool, but I don't care. Like, but we've got brand new World Tag Team Champions, and they are the Judgment Day's JD McDonough, Finn Balor defeating Awesome Truth. I love it for JD McDonough. TJ, I'll come to you first. Do you like it or not?
Yes, I do, because JD is honestly a good worker. He knows how to sell the moves. His head is largely oversized. So, but him and Finn's tag team, it's long overdue. It's something that they hoped and prayed for. And it just adds more dynamic to the storyline of the Judgment Day turning on Damian. And Rhea.
Yeah,
and Carlito now being a factor. Carlito is probably going to backstab Dominic and try for Liv, because we see him eyeballing. We see the other member of the Judgment Day also eyeballing Liv. So there may be some internal struggle over who gets to ride Liv Morgan.
It's kind of like flipping.
So Ian, your thoughts on your fellow Irish men becoming World Tag Team Champions?
Master and the Apprentice. They look so believable as a tag team. I'm glad they weren't a tag team in the 90s or the 80s, and Vince would probably give them something like the Irish Aces or the Irish Prides if they were in New Generation era WWE. But yeah, the it factor in that whole match was Liv Morgan, and it seems to have paid off for Finn and JD. So Liv Morgan is doing her
like
thing.
it for JD,
but it does kind of play a little it
so
factor,
now you're gonna
especially Finn Balor returning as leader of Judgment Day.
Now you have the Judgment Day for Liv to be in it because they made a champion. You're gonna have Dominic beat Ray next week. Anyway, that's next week. Silver for Raw. TJ, your rating?
I would give Raw silver.
I'm going to say silver as well. I'll say silver as well, especially for a triple threat match.
And to finish up the wrestling roundup here, NXT, the Tuesday night show, saw in the tag team tournament match that would have had tag team from TNA in it. Why not? Saw Chase U become your new #1 contenders. They will now get a tag team title shot at Heatwave. I'll say what I've said about Money in the Bank. This is a random match because any random NXT. There's nothing about this says put this on pay-per-view. Cool, it's on pay-per-view, but your thoughts, Ian, of Chase U becoming new contenders for the NXT Tag Team Gold?
I think they're overdue because they never really got a rematch the last time they held the title. So it was overdue, and they've had a lot of bad luck the past year. So let's see how they get on this.
And are you liking it, TJ? You liking it, Chase U? We're going for the
yeah, you know I love Chase. Yeah, you know I love Chase U, but I also love that animosity that Butch has with Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne was like, you were supposed to go off and do your own thing, but now you joined up with them.
Yeah, so it's giving Rich Holland and some I like NXT. He's on a par with SmackDown. Everybody's got
all three brands have been good. All three brands have been good.
They're doing nothing with SmackDown a level above Raw. I think it's that third hour that really hurt Raw. I don't know. But then very quickly on that, a comment that someone made on Facebook the other day is everybody complains about that third hour. But why would you complain if you getting more of something that you love? Which is true. Surely you want more. Surely you want more to be 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Give me more. Anyway. Steve returning now. He's getting used as well, so I do like that. Ethan Page came out to cut a promo. Ava did. Sean Spears did. Trick Williams did. There was a brawl. Javon Evans made the save. Obviously, we'll get to the announcements later on here, but yeah, I enjoyed this. Ian, your thoughts on this?
I think Ethan Page is just really starting to show that he's going to be a superstar in NXT. He's just really good on the mic.
He needs it on the mic. I couldn't say really good, but he's in the right place to learn. TJ, did you enjoy this back and forth?
Yeah, I did.
The promo battle, I suppose, there's a promo battle between the.
I did, and I like the fact that Ava said, "You really are all ego."
She made a point.
So I do like his mic skills.
Like I said, in my opinion, he needs to improve, but it is what it is. So, match made again. This could be a random NXT. Another match made. Another match made a week on Sunday, and that is Oba Femi challenge going 1-on-1 against Wesley. Nothing on the line. It will be good.
Ooh.
Nothing about that says let's stick it on tape. And I like Oba. I like Wesley in the ring, but nothing about it says let's stick it on pay-per-view. Speaking of Wesley, he built momentum heading into this match against Joe Coffey. Match good win. Thoughts?
Whose thoughts? Mine or his?
TJ, do you want to go first?
Well, thank you for asking me and not cutting me off. My thoughts are this. It would be interesting because they're doing NXT. So Wesley, and he has 2 of his old tag team partners in TNA. So it would be interesting to see the Rascals come in to play in some factor and help them either win the title or the Rascals unite to take on Gallus. I would like to see that.
I do think Rascals versus Gallus as well. As far as Oba versus Wesley, it's a simple. We haven't seen in a while on a pay-per-view.
And then if Oba wins,
you tell me.
Maybe we could see Oba versus Moose.
Go ahead, Ian. You tell me what about Oba Femi versus Wesley said pay-per-view to you? Yes, it'll be a good match, but what says pay-per-view? Why couldn't that be on a random NXT?
Because okay, let's think about it. You have keep Matt for a while. You have Oba Femi, a giant who could get a streak as big, and you have this underdog taking the chance to end that streak and win back the title he was supposed to win back a while ago. So you have the fans behind Wesley against the unstoppable giant that is Oba Femi. So it's basically David versus Goliath, and we've seen those stories before.
And that could be the main event of next week's Dynamite NXT or a future NXT because.
No, because there's
stories to it. You have
not a pay-per-view match, is it?
Because Wesley's a highlight reel.
He's a
nothing about it says
Spider-Man Oba Femi. He just has to.
Nothing.
Or taken from his back and all, and just try everything.
I'm not saying it will be a bad match. It can be really good. I like Wesley. I like Oba, but nothing about that says let's stick this on pay-per-view. Not one thing. If that was your main event for next week's NXT, I won't think, why is it not on Heatwave? Not at all. But speaking of title matches, the Heritage Cup was on the line. Tony D'Angelo retained against Nathan Frazier. Cool. Yeah. Ian, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was the right choice. I mean, Nathan Fraser's already been in the Heritage Cup Championship. You have to see that Tony D'Angelo still gets a strong title.
I was just reading my notes there, but yes, TJ, your thoughts on
No
Tony
thoughts.
D'Angelo?
No thoughts. Next match.
So it was Roxanne Perez taking on Conor Petrovic, who got a win on Level Up, but came up short against the champion on NXT. At least you got a match, so I suppose, yeah. That's really all I'm going to say about that. Ian, what did you think of Roxanne?
Lola Vice. Lola Vice. That's all I was going to say there. Lola Vice.
Right then. Okay. Did you enjoy this match, TJ?
Yeah, I enjoyed what happened afterwards because Lola Vice laid out Roxanne Perez. We all know Lola Vice before 2024 closes is going to be NXT champion. It's Lola's time to shine.
Stage.
Definitely.
She can shake her ass and get away with it.
Well, she's Cuban. She's Cuban.
So a match result I did like.
Another audience.
A match result I did like. Tavian Heights is getting a push. He's in no catch quarter crew. Defeated Damon Kemp. I'm loving this. Tavian's good in the ring. So why not? TJ?
Hey, it moves. I just want to see what happens now with no quarter cash club.
And Ian, your thoughts on Tavian in the crew?
I want to
now.
No quarter catch club.
Sol Ruka also picked up a W against Ariana Grande. That's what he's saying. Ariana Grace. She now gets a championship match at Heatwave against Kalani Jordan. Again, could be on a random NXT. I don't want blink. But yeah, cool.
Well, Kalani Jordan has to get past Meechin first.
Cool for Sol Ruka. Cool. Meechin faces Jada Parker next week. Street fight.
I know, but I'm just saying she has to get. Kalani Jordan has to.
She did.
She did. She beat her flat out.
So, Ian, your thoughts on Sol getting the title shot at Heatwave next Sunday?
At Vengeance Day. No, Battle.
Heatwave. It's Heatwave next week. You watched the Brandon, don't you?
Talk about last month. I'm talking about the last paper.
Heatwave.
I'm talking about the last paper.
Right. Heatwave.
I'm talking about the last paper.
Is the next pay-per-view. Your thoughts on Sol Ruka getting the title shot at Heatwave?
I know what I was. Yeah, I noticed the paper. What I said was they had it when they had the ladder match at Battlegrounds. She's getting the shot now. I still don't think.
Didn't hear a word of that. I presume they're waiting for Kalani winning, but yeah. TJ, do you like that Sol Ruka's getting this title shot?
I just love Sol Ruka's Soul Crusher. Every time that she does that move, it's always impressive and always more beautiful than the last time she did it.
Any man would love to be soul crushed by her.
1 minute. We've got. Hello? Give me a second. Okay then. All right. I have to let my dog. Give me 1 second. I have to let my dog out. Give me a second. Just talk amongst yourselves. 1 second.
Oh, lordy, Lord. Lord, wait. Should have taken the phone off the hook.
And this is why I have a cat.
No.
I prefer dogs more. Nothing against cats, but my girlfriend has a cat, so. Sorry about the argument, by the way, and all that.
Don't want to go out. Ah!
Sounds like his ma's in there. Sounds like watching Howard's Man in the Big Bang Theory.
I like that show.
It's Bang Theory.
Except I find myself to be more of a Sheldon Cooper.
Yeah, it's like work. Doesn't give you let's have a say on anything. Yeah, it doesn't give you a say on anything, especially like
oh.
You know,
I think he's putting it back.
Yeah, he is a bit less one.
Right, sorry about that. I apologise. So sorry. Let's finish up this then. Another match for me for Heatwave, and that's Lola Vice challenging Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. And Sean Spears knocked off Trick Williams. I need to get in his second match, your main event at Heatwave, Fatal 4-Way. I really like this is happening. Sean Spears, Ethan Page, Javon Evans, Trick Williams. Yeah. Your thoughts, Ian, on Sean Spears winning and the main event being made?
For Sean Spears, after he returned back in February, over a few people, but then after he beat Javon Williams, getting in that title picture.
Your thoughts, TJ, on Sean Spears?
It's going to be interesting to see in the main event. There's going to be two Canadians who are heel. So in Toronto, there'll be two Canadians in the main event. So I just want to see how that plays out. Ethan Page and Sean Spears.
Definitely, yeah. Didn't think of that. Yeah.
Could that be a potential tag team, Ethan Page?
What was that?
Could that be a potential tag team, Ethan Page and Sean Spears?
Too early to tell. Possibly. We'll see. We'll have to see after Heatwave, though. But still too early to tell.
Yeah, they could actually make some sort of like Canadian a team Canada. In a way.
So TJ, your rating for this week's NXT?
I give this week's NXT a bronze.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I would say a very, very strong, solid silver plus. Definitely. NXT was okay, but still good. I enjoyed it, but there you go. Ian?
I only give it a bronze because I didn't see Lash Legend.
You did in a backstage segment, so does that not count? I don't know.
Okay, so I give it a silver.
Ian, your rating?
I'll say silver as well.
It's that, isn't it? I thought it was that. Is it that?
It's that. They're clicking their nails together.
Okay. Ah, right. Thank you. I did wonder. I prefer Jakara Jackson anyway. I think she's far more good looking than Lash, but Lash is decent looking as well. Anyway, before we our final segment here, let's do this.
To never miss a second, never miss an upload, never miss anything I do, and never miss when I go live doing Watch Voices and my brand new podcast live Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. The Reigning Rock Podcast. And me on Facebook, Ricky J. Pete. Whilst there, search on Facebook, WWA World Wrestling Alliance. Follow me on X at Ricky Goldman's. Head over to Protein Teas and search Goldman's 1 and head over to my YouTube channel. Search, like and subscribe to the People's Wrestling Channel. That once again, the People's Wrestling Channel.
That is right. All my socials there and me follow me, do all of that as we go into our final thing here, which of course is none other than so it is of course breaking news and headlines. So we start off, we mentioned this earlier, but we'll mention it again. Unfortunately, at the age of 79 years old, WWE Hall of Famer, one half of the Wild Samoans, Roman Reigns' father, Sika, passed away. So, yeah, obviously sad news there. But 79, lived a great life.
He got to see his son hold the title the longest ever.
He got to see him win the world title at WrestleMania 32.
And Reigns has become he's become the face of the company. Let's face it, Reigns is the face of the company. Cody is so he's surpassed Cena. So Cena was the face. Reigns is now the face. And throughout of wrestling, you've got like 6 or 7 people that were the face of the company, and Reigns is in that list. So, yeah.
With Sika's death, like they shouldn't push Reigns to come back so quick. Like they should give him a chance to grieve and mourn for his dad, and not force him to come back straight away for SummerSlam. Like give it time for grief, like anybody who loses a parent.
I'm gonna get really quick thoughts on this. Give my really quick thoughts, but AEW going to Wales, Cardiff, I think it's Cardiff in Wales. Now I've said that AEW should do what WWE does, to do a SmackDown, they do a pay-per-view. AEW, Dynamite and Collision going to be taped, so no matter what day you do it, it's not going to be live. It's going to be live at 1 a.m. like it is here. So Dynamite's here in the UK at 1 a.m. It's not going to be live at 1 a.m. It just isn't. It's going to be pre-taped. So no matter what day you do it, so why couldn't you not do it on the Friday at the O2? I've checked there's nothing on at the O2. So why would you not do it there when fans are in town? Fans that would be going to All In anywhere will go to Dynamite. Why would you travel to a different country? Ian, your thoughts on AEW going to Wales?
From Wales and then go into go to Wembley. From Wales to do a Dynamite at Wembley to do both things at the same place, like what WWE does. So obviously he wants to try and increase the brand into different markets, but he should just really focus on one that he's in at the moment.
Total bad for business. Do it at the O2 in London, an hour away from Wembley. And you're telling me that AEW are going to sell out at 20? So O2 hold 20,000. They aren't going to sell out a 20,000 arena. Those fans are in town anyway. But let's do it in a different country. And the fans travelling to AEW in Wales, probably, no, they might travel to All In, but not vice versa. You're going to get from England. You're going to get a few, but not many going from Wales to England. England to Wales.
Well,
you just aren't. Most people are going to All In because they're cheap tickets. Tickets are £30-40. That's why they're going.
Well, are you willing to also spend money as well for 2 tickets to 2 shows and accommodation for yourself?
there's that as well. So yeah, so they should have done it in London.
Well, yeah, I suppose you save more money, less accommodation.
Yeah, bad. AEW was one bad thing and 20 other, so one good thing and 20 bad things go with it. Just okay, cool. They're going to Wales, but why? Do not be relying on the us wrestling fans will travel to the end of the earth to watch wrestling. That everybody's like, whatever. I don't know. Most fans are probably going to All In because it's cheap. So you're going to a stadium show for 40 quid, £40. Anyway, your quick thoughts, AJ, on AEW going to Wales, or do you have no comment? Fair enough. Once, and Triple H said this on the Clash of the Castle press conference, call it what you like, they call it the kickoff, what they call it, the post-show press conference, whatever. 80% of the world will have to watch Raw when it goes to Netflix instantly. That's incredible. 80%. Yeah, that is just, I think the ratings are going to go up. And yeah, just.
I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring in this uncut era when they get to Netflix at the moment. Like,
but your thoughts on 80% of the world being able to watch like that?
It's a good move for them, and you can choose whether to watch it or not yourself. Like, if you have.
That happens now. No difference. It's not just a good move, it's a genius business move. TJ, your thoughts on it? 80% of the world be able to watch Raw, and well,
because it will be uncensored. That's why.
It'll be uncensored. Yeah, I mean, like, you're going to have a lot of people hoping for Attitude Era moments, or like extreme amounts of violence, or maybe possible women nudity. So
we'll get onto that on our last thing here, but this next thing here, just before the last one, is Royal Rumble for the first time ever in February next year. Nothing huge breaking news, but I just thought I'd cover it.
They do it in February because they're planning.
Say that again.
They're planning WrestleMania in the middle of April around Easter weekend.
That they can't have Rumble in January like always because.
Well, if they obviously want to try something different, so they're obviously trying to. Want to try something different.
No, the real answer is
Ricky. I gotta go.
Okay then.
All right.
All right, nice TJ. Well, nice meeting you. See you Monday
next week then. That's the date the WB could get when the venue was available. And TJ's gone, but let's give our thoughts on WWE no longer being competing with Raw, and I presume SmackDown and pay-per-views will follow, NXT will follow eventually. Not like that, eventually, but certainly Raw, starting with Raw, no longer PG, once it goes to Netflix, which I've said this before, I've said this in the group, I'll say it here, won't be a Triple H decision. He'll have input, he'll give his input, they'll listen to him, but that's about it. That's as far as it goes. It's the board, it's Ari Emanuel. And probably not even Ari Emanuel. Ari Emanuel looks at WWE as a cash cow. Does it make money for him? Yes, that's all he cares about. So he's probably the board that made
whoever's decision at the end of the day, the PG era after a long time is a big end. Whatever happens either way, the PG era is coming to an end. It had its good moments.
It will be the board's decision, not Triple H's. He has zero power. He'll have had his input and said, I think this is a good idea, but that's it. But with storylines is what gets profanity and violence. You're going to be like AEW in the violence world, but storylines is a hook. So if they don't keep up with those, they can be as uncensored as you like.
And look, it's an opportunity as well to push fresh faces as well. Like, one person that's meant to benefit from the Netflix there is going to be Braun Breaker.
The same people still get pushed, whether Raw's uncensored or not.
I know, but the top face of Raw, and that's not a bad thing.
So TJ did go, but I will just quickly promote his stuff. So head over to his friend's YouTube channel, the Real Wrestling Realm. Certainly, if you're a fan of collecting championship belts, titles, call them what you like. They've got plenty of them, and check out Instagram championship. So yeah, do that, and join me tomorrow for Wrestle Crate unboxing. Then back here on Monday for the return of the It Doesn't Matter What We Call This quiz, the quiz not for jabronis. Then next Wednesday, guest host start. We're having just a guest host on every week. For multiple reasons. Other opinions, the main reason getting is so hopefully they promote me. That's the main reason. But also get other opinions. And then join me again next weekend, Money in the Bank and Heat Wave. Watch along. And then the Monday after, Monday 8th, will be Sporkle quiz. So all that again, I'll quickly run through it. Tomorrow, Wrestle Crate unboxing. Monday, quiz. Wednesday, podcast. Monday, Money in the Bank, watch along. Sunday, Heatwave, watch along. The 8th, Sporkle quiz. So plenty coming up. This is why you need to like and subscribe and get the word. Thank you to Jim for the interview. I'll be seeing him at GPW on July 7th. I am at a show this weekend. I'll say about that next week. To quickly run through that next week, we'll probably pick up a bit of merch if I can. And it is good night. Acknowledge, electrify. See you later, guys. Like, subscribe, all of that. And it is Ricky Goldman and the Wise Man out.